Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media, share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are going to be dealing in a very interesting subject, man, but something that definitely needs to be dealt with. It's unfortunate, but it definitely needs to be dealt with. And it will be a time and time again needing to be dealt with until we get people focused a lot more in the right direction, y'all. We are going to deal with the issue of Black women prefer child support, okay, over husbands, okay? Black women prefer child support over husbands. It just is what it is. Ain't no point in being fake about it. You know, as they used to say with the G.I. Joe cartoons, the more you know, okay? The more you know. The quicker you understand what time it is, the better you can deal with it. But before we go too far into this, let me first take a moment out to give credit where credit is due. We have people who step up to the plate and make the channel be a lot better than what it could be. And I can't do things the same way without these folks' support. So shout out to everyone who's ever been a sponsor of the stream. And today we gonna honor my main man, J-Bay. He is a sponsor of today's stream. So shout out to J-Bay and everyone who's ever done it, man. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Y'all, it just ain't the same without y'all. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. And let me give some shout outs to some of the first people to check in, because it's always great to see somebody ready to go when you get ready to start your show. And y'all, you got to, at some point in time, you got to be the Highlander of the stream. You got to be the Highlander of the stream. But today, we're going to give a shout out to my main man, the righteous teacher. He is the Highlander of today's stream. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Glad to see you in the building. Glad to see you in the building. Always glad to see you here. Real talk. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to J Dub following him up. The deputy on the grill is in the building. Shout out to J Dub. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here. We got Tunnel Runner in the house. Great to see you as well. Superstar Jay Quick is in the building. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Glad to see you. Inspired Truth Broadcast is here. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Shaka Nulu is in the building. What's happening? What's happening? We got Sarah B in the house. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Afro Merchant is in the building as well. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, y'all. And I'm gonna get right into it, man. We gonna deal with this. Black women prefer child support. Okay. That's the major key part, y'all. Black women prefer child support. All right. Now, of course, there will always be people who will be in denial. All right, they will be in denial. This is a subject that they will be in denial in. But if we just simply pay attention to what's going on in real life, Black women prefer child support over husbands. Now, what does this mean? Okay, the entire context is they prefer child support other than a Black husband. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Black women don't want a non-Black husband. But when it comes to a Black husband, Black women do have an understanding. If you have a husband, there's certain things that you just can't get around. Okay, they do understand that. They get that. Okay, when you got a husband, there's certain things you just can't get around. Do you follow your husband's leadership? That's something they know they're gonna have to deal with. And the thing is, do they really want to be with a Black husband, which gives them no excuse for not being under that man's leadership? See, as long as you're in a relationship with them, it's one thing. People will play around with certain stuff. But when you become husband and wife, the playing kind of goes out the window. You don't have an excuse anymore. Now, when you think about this, think about how poorly Black women present themselves, to be wives. Let's keep it real. Okay. Black women deal with a lot of stuff and they make up a lot of stuff about why people don't want them. But what group of women present themselves as the worst wife possible? Okay. On a collective level, you see different groups of women. Which group of women presents themselves as the worst wife possible? Because everybody got their own measuring stick. We look at women, men are going to look at women. Some women are going to be marriageable. Some women we're going to say is not marriageable. But when you look at a collective of women, what is Black women's reputation? Okay. Does anybody compete with them on a woman who is unworthy to be a wife? Will you see Black women just outside twerking in public like it means nothing? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You will. You will see them on news broadcasts that they attack some Black guy that they was in a relationship. Does that happen? Sure it does. Okay. Do a lot of them become single mothers? Absolutely. When they become single mothers, do they treat the kids poorly? Yep. I mean, who's beating them at a negative representation when it comes to looking at a woman to become a wife? Who's beating them at negative representation? Black women like to say, well, people don't want them for this and people don't want them. And then they, some of them put it on Black men, like Black men have to like them. Like it's our responsibility to like them, even though they, as Superstar Jay Quick would say, they fought hard to be at the bottom. Yeah, which is just a very real thing when you think about Black women in majority. Do you have Black women who put out a good example? Sure, they do exist. They do exist, but are you going to see them from a majority standpoint? No, not really. You got women who haven't had children, and usually, if you ask a woman why she hasn't had a child, if you ask a black woman why she hasn't had a child, you start getting answers like, "Well, I don't." Well, basically, they're gonna say a lot of words that equals to "I'm selfish." I don't want the responsibility of taking care of a child. I don't want to spend money on a child. I want to be off on vacations and see the world. And if I have a kid, I may not be able to afford to go on my vacations. Now, I'm not mad at women for saying something like that. If you truly think that you rather go see the world other than take care of a kid, I'm not mad at you for not having a kid. I'm cool with that. Okay? Because if you had a kid, the kid probably won't be in the best spot. For the sake of a child, I accept that. Now, you also have it where black women, a smaller percentage of them will get married, but even the ones that get married, they want a divorce. They get married, have a few kids that they wanted. Once they had a few kids they wanted, they out. It's that simple. They filed them for divorce. And they don't want child support to be a big issue. So, and a lot of women just don't want to hear the term baby mama be put on them. Now, are they going to act like a baby mama? Absolutely. Because she'll play the game to get married. Then she'll have 1, 2, 3 kids, whatever her number is. And once she gets to that number, she wants a divorce. And the sad part is a lot of black men, they think they did something wrong when it came to get a divorce. No, it ain't got nothing to do with the men. The majority of divorces amongst a black man and a black women at this point, I don't think has too much of anything to do with a man. It's except the fact that he's black. I will say that, except the fact that he's black. Because if he wasn't black, would he be going through a divorce? Probably not. There's plenty of brothers, very good brothers who've been married, gotten a divorce, and the reality is, hey, bro, what did you do? If he say I didn't do nothing, people don't believe him. But the truth be told, he really didn't do anything. Okay. Even if you hear the nonsense women say about why they got a divorce, they'll say stuff is financial, which is never a real excuse, y'all. That's never a real excuse. No black man should buy into a woman saying that the reason a woman got divorced was over financial reasons. Well, you shouldn't buy into that. She been knowing how much money the guy made. She had an ideal of what he made before she got married, which means she had an idea of how much he made when he was married. So why would finances be the issue? If you marry a man that don't make enough money to satisfy you as a woman, that was a decision you made well before even talk of divorce. You knew that before you got married. So if you make, as a man, let's just say a man makes $35,000 a year. Y'all think she don't have an ideal of that before she got married? Of course she does. So she gets married to a man that only makes $35,000 a year. Now she's married to the guy. Maybe get a couple raises here and there. Maybe she been in the marriage 5 years. So now let's say he making $37,000 a year. Okay. She knew about what his income was before she got married. Do y'all really believe that she got married over finances? I mean, excuse me, you think she got divorced over finances? Think about that. Okay. They ain't got divorced over no finances. She knew what it was when she went into the marriage. So she's lying. Sometimes there is just overwhelming evidence that a person is lying, but we don't accept it. Okay. So again, sometimes there's just overwhelming evidence that a person is lying, but for some reason we just won't accept it. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Shout out to the Saute sheriff in the building. He say, bunk child support court. I'm holding court right now. He say, please like the video or you will be placed on child support for 10 kids that aren't yours. Shout out to Mr. Sugar G, man. Appreciate that, brother. 10 kids that ain't yours, y'all. I guess y'all better hit that like video. I mean, that like button. Real talk. Okay, I ain't gonna say nothing against it because I want y'all to hit the like button anyway. So. Shout out to Mr. Sugar G. We putting kids on everybody. Messing with Mr. Sugar G, y'all gonna be paying for kids up in Pelican Bay. So yeah, we have these things where women say the stuff about it's finance. It wasn't no finances. You knew what he made before you got married. Heck, he been with you for a while. He got a raise or two. He make even more money than he was making when you first got married. And then you want to come tell me that, hey, I got divorced because of money. You lying mother. Blue, lying mother. Blue. Now, they just be straight lying, y'all. And there's no reason for us to accept the lies. Okay? Now, the other reason is they normally say it's communication. All right? Now, why do women use communication? Because it's vague. It's abstract. It doesn't mean anything. Okay? But see, we fall for it like it's supposed to mean something. Okay? She says communication. Now, let's keep it real. When it comes to communication, she knew how you were before you got married. If you were the silent type, she knew that already. If you were a more vocal person, she knew that already. If you engage with her as soon as you come home from work, more than likely she knew that already. Because let's keep it real. A lot of folks get married, they already living with each other. She knew that already. If you the type of person who wants to come home and decompress for about an hour, she knew that already. Now, I'm not saying she gonna let you decompress without bothering you, but she knows if that's what you want to do. You know, she may not respect it, but she knows that's what you want to do. So, where's the communication issue that she wasn't aware of before y'all got married? There is none. But see, if you say communication, you can't actually physically put that out on where the mistake is or where the problem is. That's the issue with communication, which is why they use it so much. So they use something that makes no sense. They'll say financial reasons, or they'll say communication, which you can't pin them down on anything when it comes to communication. You can't pin them down. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Which means what? They lying. What woman marries a man that she don't believe she can communicate well enough with? Think about that, y'all. What woman marries a man that she don't think she can communicate well enough with? Because if she truly believed that, and then she married him anyway, that means she didn't care. What he has to say wasn't important to her. And see, those are the real things behind things like communication, is that her husband will say something to her, but it wasn't really that important to her. It just is what it is. All right. Now, some people could say, well, this still is kind of crazy to say black women prefer child support than husbands. All right, we got a whole society of free black people, y'all. That's what we got over here in America. Shout out to all my people listening from around the world. Okay? Shout out to all my people listening from around the world. But in America, we got this whole population of black people that are free. Okay. So if we look at what free people did, you gotta kind of blame the free people that did it. So we got a bunch of black women who could get married, but they don't want to be good enough to get chosen to be a wife. We got some brothers who married them anyway, even if some of them weren't good enough to be a wife. And what happens? The women divorce them. The women will divorce the men. Now, I ain't tripping. If you marry a woman that wasn't good enough to be a wife in the first place, divorce should be expected. Just is what it is. Divorce should be expected. Some women tried to fake the funk for a while, but it just wasn't in their heart to be, quote unquote, subjugated to a black man, because that's how a lot of them see marriage. They see it as a black man is my leader, and what kind of woman am I if a black man is my leader? Now, black women don't come out and just say that for the most part, but if you pay attention to the stuff they do and the things they say from a general basis, you can see that that is the actual truth. A lot of black women do not want to see themselves as second to a black man. But see, when you're in a marriage, that's an understood thing. The man is going to be the number one. The woman will be the number two. So that's why marriage is such a big thing when it comes to marrying the black man for black women. A lot of men will say, well, black women don't want to get married. Well, see, you a lie, and you got an ego issue you got to get past. Black women want to get married all day long. What they don't want to do is come in second to a black man. Now, your ego can have you not accept that, and that's fine. You got to deal with your ego until you die. Okay, you got to deal with your ego until you die. I've never thought for a second that black women didn't want to get married. I see all the evidence you need to show that they want to get married. The issue is they don't like to have a black man in charge of them from a general standpoint. You can start seeing the situations at work locations when you have a black man as their manager. They don't dig that too much either. Okay, let's just keep it real. They don't dig that too much. You give them a white man as a manager, they good. You give them a Puerto Rican as a manager, they good. You give them Ecuadorian man as a manager, they good. It's when you give them a black man as a manager, they seem to have all kinds of issues. Real talk. They act like they got all types of issues. So the thing is, black women, truth be told, just don't buy into the idea that a black man should be above them in any kind of shape, way, or form. And when you just accept this as a reality, now you will understand, hey, black women do prefer child support other than husbands. Because what's the main issue? Black women can't get other guys. Black women have an issue where they can't get other guys to marry them. So when it comes down to being a husband, it's pretty much going to be black men is the option. Now, black men don't really want to marry black women because they're not good enough to be wife, which is based on their own choices at the end of the day. That's why there's only so few black women who are married, because they just don't want to be good enough to be a wife. Now, is black men stopping them from being good enough to be a wife? No. Because people like to blame that on black men. Other groups of men can marry these women. We are in America. Shout out to all my people listening around the world. But for us over here, other groups of men can marry black women. Black women want to marry those men. So what the heck that got to do with black men? The fact that so many of them are unmarried. Nothing. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay? Now, the ones of us who do marry them, let's keep it real. They'll end up looking for a divorce because they want to be in that same position as black women who just go the baby mama route. They just want to have sex, get pregnant by a dude, And once they pregnant by a dude and have a child, they want to you know, set it up where they get child support. And y'all, I've even heard this as a crazy story too. It's the men who told me that they got some woman pregnant, she had a baby, right? Because I'm gonna say because they couldn't trust the woman properly, they went and put themselves on child support. Now, think about this, y'all. You got a man, he done got a woman pregnant, right? She done had the baby. He believes the baby is his. He literally goes to wherever they would do it, I guess at some court or whatever. That's not a personal issue I've had to deal with, but they go down to the proper place and they put themselves on child support because she didn't have the baby and he believes that baby is his. Now, y'all, this is my reminder. Everybody goes, if you take your newborns and get a DNA test, man, real talk. Don't sign up for nothing until you've taken that newborn to get the DNA test. It just should be part of the program when it comes to Black men. Stop asking the government to tell you who your baby is. Just be a man, take your baby somewhere, get your baby tested, make sure it's yours, and then keep it going. But this should already be dealt with way before she gets pregnant. But there are men who are accepted that this child is mine. Hopefully those men are right. And they went and put themselves on child support. They done went to the courts, filled out paperwork or whatever. They put themselves on child support. And the women have even gotten mad at the men for putting themselves on child support. Sounds crazy, don't it? And as it turns out, the reason the women got mad that the men put themselves on child support is because they felt like they had no leverage at that particular point. They can't ruin the man the way they want to. They can't dangle stuff over him the way they want to. They can't use an excuse, if you don't do this or you don't do that, I'm going to put you on child support. They couldn't use it as a threat because the man already put himself on child support. Plus, they didn't get to spin some narrative that the guy don't want to be responsible for the child to the court system. So the court system ain't going to, quote unquote, get him since he was being a deadbeat in the first place. Now, that's an option. I don't know how great of an option that would be. I guess that's somewhat okay. I don't know if that's the best thing to do as a man. All I know is have your child tested first, and then hey, if that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. But that's an issue for women when the man goes and put himself on child support. So that should tell us something, that there's more going on than just what's on the surface when it comes to child support. Now, I do got to guess. I'm going to bring you up in a couple minutes, brother. As soon as I hit that 30 mark, I'm going to bring you up. Okay? Now, the thing is, as a man, I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I just hope it's your kid if you're going to do it. So take your child, get your test back, make sure that baby yours, because this is the thing. You start signing birth certificates, and you start going to court and putting yourself on child support, understand you are putting yourself in a legal position where you're telling the state, I got this baby, don't worry about it. That's what you're telling the state. So you're going to have a hard situation if you're trying to come back later on talking about, this ain't actually my kid and I don't want to pay for it. Because the state going to have your signatures saying, hey, you took responsibility of this child. You said you got it. All right? That's you. You said you got it. We didn't even say this baby was yours. You showed up here one day and you said, well, hey, when it comes to this particular baby, I got it. And a lot of men need to understand that the court is not to necessarily establish who a child belongs to. A lot of times it's just to establish who's agreeing to pay for it. They don't care who the child belongs to. They just want somebody to pay for it. And if you come up there with the wrong kid talking about, I got it, they just going to say, cool. And if you find out 3, 4, 5 years later down the road that that's not really your baby, they don't care. Man, you signed up to pay for this kid. That's all we know. You know, maybe you made a rash decision, but it's the decision you made. So now you got to pay. Now, uh, I got another guest coming up. Let me give the floor to a nigga never running me. These names be something else, but a nigga never running me. You have the floor, my friend. You have the floor.
Salute, Roger. Once again, great topic. Shows the reality of what black men go through when coupling. But I do have a slight pushback. Right, I have a slight pushback, just slight. So for the average brothers like you, me, and everybody else, yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, all black men are niggas and they shit. So on that level. But for you lucky Negroes, who got a little bit of money in your pocket that can afford this expensive wedding, she'll do it, right? But 7 years down the line, y'all gonna graduate, but you drop 10, 20K on that wedding, right? So she can start on her friends. She'll marry you for 7 years. Yeah. And on top of that, and maybe, and yeah, 7 years, 5 to 7 years, she'll marry you. And if you're lucky, maybe out of the 3 kids y'all got together, maybe one is yours if you're lucky. So that's package A. Then you got package B. Now package B is where you can make her life so comfortable, where she's just gonna like, look, I'm just gonna disrespect this nigga every day, but I'm not walking away. But I'm going to disrespect him to his face every day in front of the kids and everything like that. That's your Will Smith levels. And I'm going to have your children write letters to my boyfriend that's dead. But he makes her life so comfortable that she ain't going to walk away. Then you got the other ones, and this is the black card level, where you are so famous and so popular that she's going to go Super Saiyan 3 disrespectful mode, disrespect you all around media, praying every day that you divorce her because she can't look like the bad guy, a la Michelle Obama. But outside of those, yeah, she prefers child support over a husband. But, for you lucky brothers, man, you can get that. You can get the constant disrespect, and maybe 1 out of the 3 kids might be yours. All for expensive-ass wedding and like a 1% lifestyle. But that's all I have, Roger. I'll turn the mic back over to you.
Very interesting. I'm not sure that was pushback. I'm going to say that. I'm not even sure that was pushback because if we be realistic, a lot of things that women do, they will do certain things. And sometimes it's based on knowledge that they have and you don't have. Because there are women who know their kid ain't yours. And the fact that you chose to love this kid that wasn't yours, you may not even suspected that kid wasn't yours. She just look at you like you a complete idiot. And you're so stupid, I shouldn't have to respect you because you're so dumb, you can't figure out the kid I got ain't yours.
Yeah, I don't even think they care. I don't even think they care.
Because a lot of women they'll come into a relationship already pregnant. And that's why I've told y'all before, be wary of a woman who wants to have a whole bunch of sex right at the beginning of the relationship. And then it starts stopping just all of a sudden. Because a lot of them do that because they want you to believe that baby had to be yours. She came in the door pregnant. She just got pregnant by somebody else. So now she knows she got 9 months basically to work something out. She go get a new man. She has a bunch of sex with him. and she really wants that guy to believe that pregnancy has something to do with him. You know, but then she will disrespect you your entire life because you couldn't figure out that baby ain't yours. Because you was on some, well, yeah, that my first kid looked way more like his mother than it does me. And you just accept it because, you know, a child could look like their mama. So you just accept it. It look like their mama more than it does me. Now, unfortunately, I think there's been too many scenarios that have been public at this point where men just need to wake up. You have all your newborns tested. It's that simple at the end of the day. And she won't respect you because you didn't test your newborns.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So my thing is you got to test. Now,
you got to.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, again, y'all, once a woman is married, there is really no getting away with, I'm not going to listen to my man. Everyone expects a husband to be the leader of his wife. And black women know that. So people say, well, why won't black women, you know, if for those who believe black women ain't getting married for a bunch of stupid reasons. No, the main thing is they just cannot sign a paper saying this man is going to be my leader, because that's what a marriage is. And there's no running from it once they become a wife.
And even when you look at the if you go on YouTube and you look at where they get married, they make sure they delete that part. You promise to obey, right? And the one brother, when the dude said it, she was like, obey, right? And she was like, hell no, in front of everybody.
Yeah,
Hell no.
And unfortunately, that man didn't seem to call off the wedding, which is crazy work. You know, but I've told y'all before, black men have been socialized to be afraid of women. You know, that's part of our socialization growing up that we have to get past on our own. Now, shout out to Debonair Brother. He says one of the most profound and relevant Rogerisms is by the time that baby is X, the dad is never there. Well, I'm going to say that's by the time the baby is 2 years old. Usually, if a child is born to a black woman, and I'll just say for context purposes, the oldest child, because sometimes a woman will get married to a man and have a kid or two by him because she want to lock him down. But that oldest child is usually not gonna the father of the oldest child is usually not gonna be present by the time that baby has his second birthday. That man and that woman is not gonna be in a relationship. Now, people are gonna say all types of reasons why it happens. Now, truth be told, is really kind of a hive mentality. I want to get pregnant by a dude that I don't respect because it's gonna be easier for me to walk away. That could be a very subconscious thing that black women are doing that they're just not even paying attention to. And as I've said before, your subconscious rules you. Okay. And the thing is, a lot of black women, they understand I can't have all my kids by the same guy because that gives the man too much leverage or gives the man too much power. That's just how they see it. And black women do not want to be second to a black man. They just don't. It is what it is. You know, we live in a country where that is preached all the time. This country was literally founded on the fact that for you white people that's not rich and powerful, at least you ain't no nigga. And that carries forth. And black women just trying to find ways to not be a nigga. And, you know, we don't say it like that, but that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You know, the country is on some, at least I ain't a nigga, or black women don't want to be a nigga.
Right. And I mean, and see, that's the thing, right? That is the social dynamic that keeps America from rioting in the streets. Because at the end of the day, you can assuage white people by saying, at least your situation is not as bad as the niggas. And do you have women on TikTok, black women on TikTok, calling black men slaves?
Man, they do that on every social media.
Yeah, so I mean, they just outright slaves. So at the end of the day, when we're looking at how black women really feel about black men, they don't respect us. And so at the end of the day, how can you have a relationship where there's no mutual respect? You can't. right? They don't even respect you enough to let you know, like, the kid is not even yours. I mean, that is diabolical. That is just, man, that's just diabolical.
Well, you can have the relationship, but it's just not gonna necessarily be a good one.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, if you are a black man that's successful enough, like, out of the three, you might be lucky one of them is really yours, right? While she's disrespecting you every day to your face in front of the kids, if you're successful enough.
Well, I'm just gonna say that when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, men just have to man up at the end. When it comes down to it, because you can't. The government ain't gonna do it for you. Okay, the
No.
government ain't really made any move in history where they tried to help the general black man out. There's literally no move that you can point to in history where the government just decided, hey, let's do this to help the brothers. And if this country has been around for hundreds of years and ain't happened yet, I doubt it's finna happen next week. Okay. I mean, anything's possible, but I doubt it's finna be next week. So
Man,
let's
you
not
got
wait on it.
you got a better chance of getting a glass of ice water in hell.
That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. So now the thing is, black women do like to push this narrative that black men don't want to be there. And the thing is, we have to understand why they're pushing this narrative. Because they want to do what they want to do without answering to anybody, but they don't want to be blamed for what they did. So that's why
Right.
they're gonna keep this narrative that, well, the guys are deadbeats and they're running out. There has been no time in history where black men have ever run out on black women. And as I've pointed out beforehand, they say that stuff happened in the 60s. And what happened in the 60s was black men actually started going to the Vietnam War. They never ran out on black women. Black women would just make that claim. So even your war heroes, the the respect black women have for war heroes that say, hey, when them people was going to war because they was trying to do something for themselves and their families, we gonna claim that's when black men start running out on their families. Now, think about it, y'all. Why did it take till the 60s where black men had to go to Vietnam? Because they had to sign up for the military because they had issues with getting jobs and things like that. So they take a job that could literally kill them. And the reward is that's when you niggas ran out. That's what we got.
Yeah, but we know that's not true because she chose the state over everybody else, and going to the military was a way to get out of poverty and get out of the ghettos of the North, right? Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, after the Great Migration, right? From the South. So she's the one that left. And look at Cuddy. Look, Cuddy was throwing dick at everybody's woman, right? While he was at the Vietnam War.
I mean, that's a bad situation in itself.
Right,
because that
you
just
remember
shows the
their president?
disloyalty.
He
Go
comes
ahead.
back. Their presidents come back. We don't even know if that little girl is really his. Comes back from the war. Cuddy giving her food for groceries, running all up in her. She never denied that nothing was going on. And he come back home, and what I mean.
We losing you, brother. We losing.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, we lost you for a second. You
Yeah,
back.
but that's their presidents is a great depiction of really what happened back in the 50s and 60s. Black men went to war, right? Pookie stayed around, got everybody pregnant, and dudes came back from war taking care of Pookie's kids.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of that would have happened because wasn't no DNA testing back then. And of course, what's the woman gonna say? No, this your baby. You got me pregnant before you left. You know, so unless your your time being away is just too long for you to know the truth, then you was kind of screwed at the end of the day.
Well, you at least wait for 2 to 3 years, right?
Well, but people always come back at different times. So if it would have to be right in order for you to. But then again, with no way of testing the kid, it's really kind of all up in the air at the end. It's really up in the air, because you got to really look at when that baby was actually born versus on when you left, and you got to
But
really
I
match
don't
that
think
out.
black women waiting 3-4 months. I think as soon as you got on that thing smoking, if she was halfway decent, she gave you a 1-month grace period.
Well, I'm saying that there's a lot of women who gonna move right away. There's some who gonna wait, but then there's some who gonna move right away, and that's why I say that time period it makes a difference. So if you left out in September, on 13th, then she might already be in bed with somebody by September 26th. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks down the road, things like that did happen. And if it's that close, a man would probably accept that it's probably his.
Or even November, December, right? Because even November, December, because I mean, how can you really know if it's like 1 or 2 months off?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless you was gone far more than what the situation will allow, depending on the age of the kid, you was pretty much screwed. And then what brother's gonna be like? Well, that can't be my baby.
Right? Because think about it, right? You're going at least 2 years, right? So even if she didn't do nothing for a month or two, when the kid comes back, when you come back, the kid's gonna be 1 or 2 years old, right?
Well, and the thing is, it wasn't even an idea back then,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was looking for it, and a lot of times you can hide stuff in plain sight if nobody's looking for it,
right?
It just is what it is, But as time has gone on, we see what black women have been doing now. Black women don't like the ideal of being, again, second to a man, which you really can't hide that if you're a married couple, because everybody's going to expect you to be in support of a man when you're a married couple. You don't get to act like you're not number two. So now the thing is, black women don't want to be seen as number two. So what do you do about that? Well, you can't be in a marriage. And if you want children, you got to get it from either a baby daddy or you got to divorce your husband
or preacher.
Well, I mean, that would be the baby daddy. The thing is that when we look at black women having children, do black women seem to even prefer having children with husbands, or they prefer to have children with baby daddies?
Oh, they prefer Pookie and the preacher.
Well, my thing is, I'm not trying to label. I'm just saying there's a general concept that no matter which level of woman you're talking about, they prefer having children by baby daddies.
Yeah,
because
but if
most black children are born in a situation where the woman is not married to the man.
Right. But if it could be the preacher, that's extra special.
Now, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but my thing is, I do want black men to understand this ain't got nothing to do with the level of woman. Because we'll look at women and say, well, they doing something different than these other women. And women have tried to push that for a long time. People be like, well, that's them ghetto chicks that live in the projects. No. What is the woman with the job doing different than the woman who is living in the project?
Everybody's getting it. Every peanut is getting everybody.
And that's a reality that black men need to deal with. Yeah, the chick over there living in the projects, yeah, she getting down wild. I'm not gonna deny that. But then when I go to the woman who ain't in the projects, maybe she does live in a nice neighborhood or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she does work at a law firm. Cool. Maybe she does work at the hospital. Cool. What they doing? It'd be the same things.
All I know is whether she lives in Beverly Hills or South Side of Chicago, everybody's at Chippendales on Ladies' Night.
And the thing is, y'all, that's not somebody saying something about black women. That's just look at the numbers and look how it turns out. Okay? If most black women have children by men who are not their husbands, you can't just put it off on the project girls, which is what something black women love to do. Well, it's just them project girls. It's them girls that they just uncouth altogether. They just raised in this terrible, terrible, terrible situation. And no, it's a general population of black women because
Yeah, I mean,
everybody don't live in the projects.
right. Well, I mean, but the thing about it is like there's three different types of baby daddies. I know. So this is just my opinion, not the Roger Report. Right? Everybody's at ladies' night. Right? Whether she's from the suburbs or Southside Chicago, everybody goes to the same lady night where Peanut and Pookie are two men and everybody. Then, if she manages to escape that, Sunday she at church. And you know the preacher deep dicking. So the preacher's gonna get one of them. Then, if you're Ebony K. Williams, you go into the clinic to get artificially inseminated, right? But all of those are the best options to getting married.
What the thing is, that is proof. I mean, Ebony K. Williams is great proof that black women just prefer to be a baby mama because a woman with her background, she had every opportunity to get a husband. She did actually go to a college, she did actually go to law school. And she was actually in the entertainment world. She to my understanding, she never really practiced law, but she was in the world of entertainment on television programs and whatnot. So she's around all types of men for decades that are clearly husband type of men. And she didn't find it upon herself to be good enough for anybody to present herself as a wife. None of them. My thing is how you around the right men for decades and you don't show none of them that you're worthy of being picked. That's just crazy work in itself,
Look, it took the whole country, it took the whole Democratic Party and Michelle's parents and her brother to convince that woman to get married to Obama. Right? It literally took the whole Democratic Party. So, because Ebony K and Michelle are the same.
Well,
right?
I don't know what I don't get what you're saying about the Democratic Party. I do know that Michelle said herself that it took the rest of them convincing her that he would be a good choice. I do remember something about
the party
that.
people, right? When we're going to choose him to run 4 or 5 years from now. So I'm pretty sure the Democratic Party was talking to Michelle as well. Look, you know what I mean? We think you're good representation. You got married this nigga.
Well, I mean, that could have happened. I know the family had to convince her because she to my memory, she said that. So we know that happened. But being in those circles, it makes sense that there were probably people from the party who was telling Michelle certain stuff if you get married to him, it may work out for that. That's plausible. I will say that's plausible. Very plausible.
Because they vet. Because Obama was dating white women for the longest, right? So you know what I mean?
I think Obama did make a decision to marry a black woman for political purposes. Because as a black man with a white girlfriend, that just wasn't gonna work politically, not in America.
Right.
So
and the thing, but you gotta think about it, right? To be president of the United States requires at least 10 to 15 years of planning. You just don't wake up and I want to run and win, right? It takes planning, man. A lot of foresight. So 10 to 15 years, they were already curating this man's life so that he can be a worthy opponent.
I mean that's very well plausible at the end of the day, because that's not something you just say, well, I'm gonna be it and I'm gonna do it my first time out. It does take a lot of planning, So, but my thing is, Michelle never became an actual baby mama. Now, the thing
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? Is that she's mad that they took that dream away from her.
Now I can't say you're wrong on that, because the way she acts,
that's why she went on her angry tour, right?
Yeah.
Going here, going there, disrespecting Obama because she took away She took away the feminist shit. I'm black, strong, educated, independent, and I got a couple girls, right?
Right.
She could afford artificial insemination, just like Ebony K. Williams, right?
Yeah.
Obama, see, y'all gotta understand something. Obama messed up Michelle's dreams. She was either going to end up with a white man or she was going to be a single mother power attorney. She had no desire to be the first lady. That is, I mean, you know, she had no desire for that.
Now, my thing is the way she acts would support that. And at the end of the day, she never got to say I'm a strong, independent woman and I can do it by myself. She couldn't say I can do it by myself because she had a husband the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And when she even let it slip out her mouth, like because she called herself a single mother, she got some backlash for that. So I get what you're saying. Her behavior would support that. Her behavior would support that argument at the end of the day.
So,
you know?
So look,
But
either she was trying to get pregnant by the preacher or science, but Obama messed all that up.
Well, I mean, she signed up for it, so I can't blame Obama. She signed up for it, and she picked the winner at the end of the day. But picking the winner wasn't good enough for her. You know what I'm saying?
You know how women are. Like, they're always going to blame somebody.
I get you. But my thing is, I don't want to say Obama did it to her because she picked the winner. And no matter what we want to say about Obama, because, you know, people agree with Obama, a lot of folks disagree with Obama. At the end of the day, the man's a winner. That we can't really debate. He did win.
But in Michelle's eyes, Obama is not a winner.
I'm not going to argue that because what she says supports that. You know what I'm saying? What she says definitely supports that at the end of the day. So I can't really make no argument against that. Now, my thing though, when it comes to black women being a baby mama, a lot of them want to be one. Again, I am going to say that the ones who choose to get married first and then get divorced, and you know, they said the average black marriage is only about 5 years long at this point. Y'all should be able to figure out any woman who gets married and doesn't, and I've said this before, y'all, if you didn't stay married for at least 10 years, you didn't plan on being married. You know, it's one thing, let's say if you a widow, that's not your fault. That's not his fault. It's just an unfortunate thing. Somebody died. Okay. So whether you male or female, I'm not saying you wasn't taking marriage seriously because somebody died before you made it to 10 years. But if you get married to a person and you don't stay married at least 10 years, it was never in your plan to be married. You literally was just misusing somebody, saying that this is what you wanted, and you never wanted that because a marriage is something you do for decades. If you won't do the first decade, it was never your intention to be in that situation. And that's what happens with a lot of women who have children. They have children in marriage because they don't want to be labeled a baby mama, but they still in that marriage before 10 years even passes. That's not a woman who wanted to be married. That was just a woman who was lying. And that's what black men need to start to recognize. You know, so people be like, well, you know, well, I was married when I had my kids. My first question going to be, well, how long was you married though? Mm-hmm. And usually it's under 10 years.
Well, that's not my first question.
Well, I'm saying for a woman who having an issue with not me trying to date a woman, I'm just saying a woman who's saying that there's an issue with men, you know, she going to say, well, you know, she gonna say something about the man not being there, and I'm like, well, how come you weren't married? And then some of them be like, well, I was married. Okay, then well, what happened to your husband? Well, we got divorced. How long was you married? It's always under 10 years, just about.
Roger, we gotta reverse that a little bit. First, you say you were kids. Then she said I was married, and then you gotta say, well, does the DNA prove that? Right. So, right, does the DNA support your claim that your husband is the father? Then we can talk about the 5 years.
Well, we do got to get the men to start actually getting DNA tests first, but that I agree that should be part of the process. But we got to start getting the men to take it serious about getting their kids a DNA test.
A woman in 2025 was like, "Oh, I was married before I had my kids," and right, that doesn't mean you were not throwing that monkey around to the preacher or the peanut.
I mean, that's true, but even for the ones who act like, because there's women who will act like they want to be married the whole time, and their real goal is, I just don't want to be labeled a baby mama, and they will get involved with a man and act like everything's fine, have 2, 3 kids, want whatever the amount of kids they want, because some of them are gonna do it with one kid because they just wanted one, and they out. Or you have a situation where somebody had twins and they good. You know what I'm saying? I had twins. I'm not, especially don't let it be a boy and a girl twin.
I need verification.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying the man should always look for verification. But the issue is that you have women who perform as if they want to be a wife. Yeah. Then they have the kids they want, and now they're out. And what I'm saying is, any man who sees a woman who wasn't married for at least 10 years, understand marriage is not serious to her.
Right.
Okay. Marriage has never been serious to her. That's why she was in for an entire decade. Marriage is something you do for multiple decades. If she doesn't do the first decade, she doesn't want anything serious.
The fact that she's willing to walk away from a marriage with children under the age of 5 says a lot.
I mean, that says a lot too. But what I'm saying is, to me, it don't even make a difference how old your kids are if you didn't do at least a decade in the marriage. That means you never took the marriage seriously. And I'm saying, to me, that's not just what people call a red flag. That is a warning sign. She doesn't take marriage seriously. She didn't even do 1 decade. Again, marriage is something you're supposed to do for multiple decades. Yeah. If a person won't do 1 decade, ain't nowhere in the world they serious about marriage. So, like, there's women who are divorced, and they want a quote unquote second shot. Well, my first husband wasn't right for me, and blah blah this and blah blah that. If you weren't married for at least a decade, I would. I mean, for me, you stay away from those women with a 10-foot pole. Real tough.
I agree with that, but my thing is this, because I'm extra careful, right? I double bag, so for me, I get to 10 years, but if you did 10 years, but your kid is 3, I'm still staying away, because if you can't do 10 years for your kid, you darn sure can't. You ain't gonna do it for me, because at the end, that's your kid.
No, I mean, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that, regardless of an age, if the marriage is less than 10 years, it shouldn't even be on the table.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
but I like to wear 2 condoms when I go in. So
yeah, because technically, a person could have had a kid with a woman, then they eventually got married. Like, kid could have been 7 years old, and then they got married. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's automatic disqualification. That's automatic. She could have. If they got married when the kid was 7 and then they divorced when the kid was 17, I'm still not dealing with that. Because, I ain't dealing with that.
Well, no, I'm just saying that my thing is 10 years is 10 years, period. Anybody who don't do 10 years, I ain't even talking to you. It's not even an issue that we should even have a serious conversation about marriage.
But and what I'm saying is this: 10 years, if you know no kids, cool. Or your kid has to be born in wedlock. So if you did 10 years and then you divorce and your kid is 3, I'm still staying away from that.
No, I mean, I totally get you. Well, but I'm just saying, as a general rule, if a woman has been married and wasn't married for 10 years, now if she's an actual widow, cool. Because it could be an unfortunate situation where a woman gets, her husband died in 3 years. That's not her fault. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But I'm saying a general rule that Black men should follow: if a woman was married for less than 10 years, we shouldn't touch her. That's just automatic. You know what I'm saying? No brother should take her seriously. That's she for the streets forever.
Right. But I'm just talking to the 2 condom niggas, because some of us, we like to wear 2 condoms. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm just trying to enforce what should be a rule amongst Black men. Yeah. If she's ever been married and it's been less than 10 years, and it wasn't and the dude didn't die. Now, I'm not talking about the widows, but if the dude didn't die, she should be for the streets, period. That is a guarantee. That should be guaranteed. No man will ever marry you again. There's nothing she can tell me. There's nothing she can present to me. That it's pointless to even have the conversation because you got married before, which is supposed to be one of the most serious things that you can do in life. And then you didn't even stay married for 10 years. If marriage is that silly to you, then I can't touch you at the end of the day. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Shaka Nulu. He said it says y'all should stop trying to get married. Shaka Nulu, I get where you're coming from, but women shouldn't dictate what men do. I'm just gonna keep it real on that one. Men supposed to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how women act, men are supposed to do what they want to do. That's part of being a man. So a woman's not gonna convince me to do nothing too much at the end of the day. How a general woman acts in relationships that ain't got nothing to do with me, they're not gonna convince me to do anything. Real talk.
All I'm saying, gentlemen,
Yeah.
double bag it, and then afterwards a
Yeah.
little bit of hot sauce.
Yeah. Now I totally get where you're coming from. I do get where you're coming from. I'm not saying like you're crazy for what you're saying, but you know, I'm just saying from a general concept, women don't convince me to do squat.
No, I mean I hear you, man, but the streets are dangerous, man. You got to double bag it and drop the hot sauce in it. I mean, shit out here is wild.
I mean, you definitely got to act like things are real, but the point is there's a narrative about men out there, and men do not fight against this narrative. The reality of the Black community is Black women prefer a child support check instead of a husband.
Oh, absolutely.
Because with a child support check, nobody's checking them. See, when you get that check, you do whatever you want to do with that check. Nobody's talking to you about money. Nobody's talking about how you spending it. Nobody's saying you really got to actually spend the money on the children. Okay. No one's saying that you got to actually do right by the kids, even when it comes to just feeding them. It's a lot of mess that Black women do that nobody's going to check them on because it's all about a check. And that's the thing that Black men have to know and understand. And we got to actually start spreading the word because people will do stuff with the idea that Black men don't want to do for their kids. No. Plus, your kids need to actually understand what's going on with your checks.
Right.
Black men need to have a relationship with their children. That if you find yourself in a position where you're paying child support, your children should know what's going on.
Right.
And that is something that is very much discouraged amongst Black folks. They do not want children to know what's going on. Now, I know if it was me personally, my kids would know exactly how much money is paid in child support. Right. Now, why are they going to know how much money is paid in child support? Because I'm not going to allow the woman to corrupt their view of me.
Right. And on top of that, and I just wanted to add this little bit, like Black women prefer child support over husbands, and they don't really care who the father is. Any child support check will do.
I mean, that's real. that's real.
Any child support check would do.
Yeah, so that's a very real thing.
You need to talk to them and be like, look, this is how much I gave your mom. Oh, by the way, I might not be your dad, but we're working on that.
Yeah. And so now my thing is, men, we got to create relationships with our children where they know what's going on with the money. Now, back in the day, everybody would say, well, you know, that's just not a child's place. Unfortunately, we are in a position where children need to know, because if women are able to manipulate their view of the men of the community, because it don't just be about the one guy, period. It be about men of the community. You know what I'm saying? And they thinking about Black men as an entirety of Black men. Okay, they not thinking about the separate subgroups of Black folks. They think about community as one. They lie to children about stuff to poison children to be anti-Black men. At some point in time, y'all, that has to stop. But how do you get that to stop? You got to actually do something. So if you're a person and you have a child, your child should know what you're paying in child support.
Right.
Your child should know how child support is being paid. You know, if you have a job and they taking it out your check, you should be telling your kids, look, your mama get X amount of dollars every time I get paid. It come out my check. Okay. If you pay it yourself, you should be telling the kid, the first week of the month when I be coming by, that's me dropping off a check. Okay. Or if you, however you get it done to her, you know what I'm saying? If you're paying through a cash app, you should be able to show your kids, look at these cash apps, look at these dates. This is all money that's marked for you.
Right.
You know, however you getting these payments done. Go ahead.
Right, yeah. Let them know. Like if you drop in a rack a month, be like, look, this is how much your mother's getting for your welfare. I'm still waiting on the paternity test, by the way, so checks might stop. But until let them know, be like, look, checks might stop, but until that point, I said a rack for you. I said a rack for your sister. So you know what I mean. Now the other kids, they ain't mine, so they might, you know what I mean. They might be taking your ends. Talk to your mom about that.
Well, and what the thing is, y'all, and we do got to actually get on track about having these tests done, because you should, before you start paying child support, you need to know that kid is actually yours. But he is making a good point, because a lot of times that's just not the case at this particular point. But the thing is, your kids need to know what's going on. Why do your kids need to know what's going on? It's not personal, y'all. You need to understand, as a black man, this is a community issue. We have a community where kids don't know what's going on. We have a community issue where women are lying about what men are doing. And we have a community issue where children grow up children grow up thinking black men is doing crazy stuff because of the information that they've been given as a child. So you got people who will raise their whole lives that black men are deadbeats, when that clearly is not the case, you know. And that's just not our culture as black men. We don't have a culture of being deadbeats. We take care of kids that we don't even have to.
Right, and I wanted to say that. And on top of that, it's good to let them know, because, you know, like, hey, that's your half brother, that's your half sister, but I'm not responsible for them because they're none of my relation. My responsibility is to you. Now, your mom out here like that, so you know what I mean?
No, I mean, that's the straight up truth, because there are going to be kids in situations where they're going to have brothers and half sisters and whatnot. And the thing is, the kids need to know what time it is. You know, I'm responsible for James and Nikki. Okay, James and Nikki are my children. Okay,
right
now, Terrence, Terrence and Melissa and Cordell, they not my children. They got their own fathers that should be paying for them.
That's facts. I came twice, not 5 times.
You know, and the thing is, what goes on with them, that's their business at the end of the day. Okay, I'm gonna say, shout out to Tiberius, y'all. He said, I hit the like button with the quickness. 10 kids. Tiberius do not want 10 random kids put on him. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I bust in your mom 3 times, not 7, not 10. So the other niggas gotta, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Now the thing is, a lot of sway has been given to women because we don't tell the children this stuff, y'all. Now I do understand it, and I get it. Years ago, I used to hear people saying, well, you know, we don't bring that to children because they children. They don't need to know all that. That's adult stuff. And I would be like, yeah, okay, I understand it. Yeah, you got a point. But now that I've been around long enough as an adult myself, you know, it's one thing to tell me that when I was 18, 19. But now, when you've been an adult for more than 10 years, more than 15 years, you know what I'm saying, more than 20 years, you know, as all of us get older, you know, some of us have been adult for 40 years, you know what I'm saying? If you're in your 50s, think about it, you know what I'm saying? You're 50, 60, whatever, you know what I'm saying? What you understand about the adult world should be changing over time. So yeah, I bought into it. You know, yeah, that we shouldn't expose this type of stuff to children. You know, when I was 18, 19 years old, I bought into it, but now I know better. No, that's just a tool to set up black men to take the fall for stuff that they ain't got nothing to do with us.
It's also enabling, right? I'm enabling her to be a trifling mother. No, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, we have no reason to do that. And since it don't help anybody, why would we choose to do that? So I am saying, y'all, as a black man, y'all, there's personal responsibilities that we have, but if we are going to be a community, there's community responsibilities that we have.
Yeah.
At
And
the
you
end
have
of
a
the day,
responsibility.
oh, go ahead.
And you have a responsibility to let your kids know their mom is trifling as hell, right?
Well, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. What
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna say
say,
it. I'm gonna say it. I'm
if
gonna say
you,
it.
I think if you tell the kids the truth, they gonna figure it out on their own.
No, I'm gonna be explicit. Be like, look, I got with your mom, and I told her I want all this. She did it anyway. So now you got all these half brothers and sisters around, and that's some trifling shit. And I ain't here to pay for all that. So here's the receipts of how much I give your mom and how much I pay for private school and all that. And I'm just sorry, nigga. It sucks to be you. You got a shitty mom.
Well,
Life's tough.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna tell nobody not to tell their kid that their mom is trifling. That is, everything with children is, you got to see how your kid is and when they can handle stuff and all that type of stuff. And if you think it's the right idea to tell your children the truth, because I'm one of them people, I don't believe in hiding the truth from children. I told women straight to their face, if the child, because they'll say ridiculous stuff. Y'all know how women get. They'll say ridiculous. What if the daddy's a crackhead? But you still need to tell your child that you had a kid by a crackhead. That's your business at the end of the day. So
That is the worst reflection on you that you let a
exactly.
crackhead hit you raw.
Exactly. But women say stuff because they want to make it wild or make it
Yeah.
where you can't continue on the course you was on. My thing is now children should know the truth about whatever their situation is, because you don't know when that truth is gonna matter to them in their life at some particular point in time. So if you marry a crackhead, that's your business. If you just had a baby with a crackhead, that's your business. But at the end of the day, that child needs to know that my daddy a crackhead. Just is what it is. That's the type of woman my mama is. My mama, she lay down with crackheads. It's
Well,
yeah.
God forbid, my baby mama is trifling. I'm going, man. You think she's gonna hesitate to say I ain't shit?
Well,
You think she gonna hesitate?
she gonna lie on us anyway. As men, that's the normal thing about black folks in America. The woman is going to lie on you regardless. Now, that's why I'm saying I'm never gonna tell a man not to tell his children the truth about their mama. Personally, I do think if you give them the evidence, it doesn't make a difference whether you tell them or not. My issue is children aren't shown the truth, because it's a bunch of he say, she say, when it comes down to it. My thing is tell your children what the truth is. Because, when I first decided what I would do if I ever ended up on child support, now this is years and years ago, but my thing was when I picked my child up, I would give the check to my child and have the child get a check to his mama. There was nowhere in the world my kid was going to ever think that daddy wasn't paying, because they would see the evidence of daddy paying. And that's just point blank, period. And I also would have got a whole separate checking account. You know what I'm saying? If it happened to me in this day, I get a whole separate checking account, and that checking account ain't gonna be to do nothing but put money in so that child can get child support. That is literally gonna be a child support checking account. So now my kid will be able to look up whatever they want to look up, because I'm not gonna play with women like that. If I had a kid in a situation like that, this the checking account. Here's the information on it. Look into it yourself. You can see when daddy dropped the money.
Then ask your mom, let me see the receipts. And you were going to see the receipts say lashes, nails, weaves, McDonald's for your half brothers and sisters, rent.
Well, my thing is, mama can explain whatever she wants to explain to that child. My child is gonna know beyond shadow of a doubt that daddy was paying. When my kid asks me for stuff, it's gonna be, look, hey, your mama took me to court, about the child support stuff. So the judge said this what has to be done, and because there's a third party involved, I'm only gonna give you what the judge says. That's on your mama. Because if I got to deal with child support through the court system, y'all, I ain't giving you a dime over what the judge said give you. If the
No,
judge
but
said it's
I would.
300, it's over with.
No, but I still will pay for private school no matter what. I'll still pay for private school.
I mean, well, that's to each his own. To each his own. If my children have to go through the court system, they only give them what the court tell them. Now, my thing is, that's what happened to you when you was a child. Anything beyond that, I'll deal with it when you become an adult. Because I'm not saying I would keep stuff from my children, but when you become an adult, you can start making adjustments because of what your mama cheated you out of.
So you telling me that, like, if the court says $250, I don't know what child support is, but I guess
they say the average is around $400 a month. That's what they say the average is.
So $400 a month. All right, so that's all you're gonna get. I mean, you ain't gonna pay for private school, none of that shit.
No, it's over with, bro. If a third party has to be involved, the third party's gonna make a decision, and that's what we going with.
That's cold, Roger. That's cold. That's cold.
It might be for my children. It's gonna be tough life lessons because I'm gonna be teaching my children the whole time.
It's not. That's not on them. That's not on them.
No, it's not on them. But at the end of the day, there are life lessons that are tough out there, and Mama set it up where they had to learn one early.
No, I'm still gonna. But you know what I mean. But the thing about it, you want to get them ready for the future, man.
Now that I'm gonna get them ready for the future in my home. Okay. If you don't live with me, you're not gonna get the full benefit of living with me.
No, but that's not on them, right? Because they're gonna suffer.
It doesn't matter. The reason this type of stuff goes on is because sometimes we do too much, man. If for my children to have the full benefit of living with me, they literally got to live with me. But if you don't live with me, you're going to suffer.
For example, I pay the $400 a month. I pay the private school. The baby mama don't benefit off that.
Yeah, do. Yes, you do.
How?
Because if you pay for private school, what you think the baby mama gonna do?
I'm nothing.
Well, no. The thing is, I recently found this out too. Every 2 years or every 3 years, they can go back to get increases. Well, I forget. I think it's every 2 or it's every 3, but you can go back to. Now I knew they can go back to get increases, but it's like every 2 years or so they can go back to get an increase. No, so if you can afford to pay this, you can afford to pay a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah, but we're gonna be fighting. We're gonna be fighting for years over that. There ain't gonna be no increases. There's definitely ain't gonna be no increases. But
you can't control what the court do though. You can't control. What my thing is, I'm gonna teach my kids in life. Once you enter that, once you bring in that third party, be prepared to deal with that third party.
I mean, but even with but even if I don't pay for private school, right? She can still take me to court for an increase, right? No matter what.
She could, but my thing is, I'm not giving I wouldn't give any woman an indication that I make more money. She'd just be shooting for the dark with me. She ain't gonna never.
Then I'll hook it up as scholarships. You know what I mean? I'll call one of my friends, but yo, say this is a scholarship, and they got a scholarship.
I mean, that would be a better way to do it.
Oh, there you go.
You give a woman an indication there's more money to take, she coming forward.
Oh yeah, then I'll make sure that like a friend of mine say, hey, here's a scholarship for you two little niggas to go to the private school.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin 3905. He said you're going to pay more because the child is in private school. Absolutely. That's a great indicator that we need to raise up what this dude's child support is. Now,
she keep fucking around. She gonna find cocaine in her trunk.
Hey man, it is what it is. But bro, the thing is, the women ain't doing this for no reason. They doing this stuff for a purpose. Hey. You know, so the realistic way to view it is they doing what they doing because this is what they want done, and they want these setups for a reason. Now, I want to say shout out to shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast because he actually hit me yesterday. Y'all, I told you I had my phone to say who hit me yesterday, but. Okay, you know what? Inspired Truth Broadcast said, did you get the 50 the other day? Inspired Truth Broadcast, thank you very much, man. Because I saw the number go up. I said that on air that a number went up, but I never saw who sent it to me for some reason. So that was you. I did get it. I definitely appreciate you, brother. Shout out to you for the 50. Thank you very much, my brother. Appreciate that big time. Appreciate that big time. Now, he sent me 5 yesterday to ask me, did I get the 50? So I know I said on air the other day that, it seemed like it jumped up. I just didn't see where it came from. So that must have been his 50. That's what I would have to assume. That must have been your 50. So shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate you big time, brother. And now that I'm scrolling down, I see it. I see it now where it's actually showing. So shout out to you, Inspired Truth Broadcast. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. And there's Cash App in today. There I said it. Appreciate you. He said he is right with the $5 Cash App. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Okay, we got my main man H Revels has come up, so let's let him get the mic. You got it, H Revels.
Yeah, hello. Shout out to you, Roger, as the host. Good title for the show. I just wanted to make sure you guys can hear me clearly. I was moving around the city, so you have me loud and clear?
Yeah, you loud and clear today.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm still in the city, so I'm fine. I should be fine. Yeah, so as it relates to this topic, I was actually looking for the accompanying video. And the reason I mentioned that is that there's a lot of these videos that actually speak to this. There's a bunch of women. There's some that have women literally sitting in front of a judge. They're going back and forth, and the woman actually prefers child support, right? And she really doesn't want that husband. And then there are cases where the woman never was married, and the guy's like, "Hey, look, I'm the father. I want to be there. Yada yada yada." She's like, "I ain't trying to be with you. I just want the kid. I want the child support, and that's it." And then you have the guy who does the he's kind of, what do you call it? Kind of what he's corny with it sometimes, because he does like the person on the street interviews where, he asks women, what would you prefer? Would you rather have a husband who's da 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 da, or or would you rather prefer like, there are guys who've done these types of corny on the street interviews, and by and large, and I don't know if they edit it to get that result, but you see a lot of those. There's if they ask 5 women, one of them wants a husband, the other ones would they prefer the child support. Like literally. So there's something to this. There's some reality as it relates to this discussion. And then you got to look at the overall numbers as it relates to the women with the children, no husbands. So you got to put all of that stuff together. And when you look at the overall picture, it's not just one factor. It's a collection of factors that points to that it's unfortunate, but for whatever reason, women are fine with the children, they're fine with getting child support, but they don't want the husbands. And then I'll say this, and then I'll let you respond here real quick. And you didn't attach it, and this is probably another topic. And I know you don't like bringing up other topics outside of the show, but you can make this a whole different show. There is a video going around of a black man who started a not a daddy daycare club, but a daddy stroller club, and people were actually hating on it. Black men out with their kids, just strolling around, linking up with other black fathers, because he started the club that kind of like, he was a new father. He kind of wanted to associate with other fathers and talk about the trials and tribulations and get advice from other new fathers. So he just started this daddy stroller club. Black men only, by the way. Nobody else invited. No Asians, no white people. No, it's just black men with their kids. And it's starting to spread out to other cities. But would you believe that people are actually hating on that? Isn't that interesting?
Of course.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Of course they would be. All right. And we got Gold P who's joined us as well. So let's get Gold P in real quick. You got it, my brother.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
All right. Good early to everybody. Everybody on the panel and everybody in the chat. I came up here to get at Roger.
Okay, what we talking about now?
That's not a new thing. Huh?
What we talking about now?
That's not new to Roger. Roger. So I was listening to you, brother. Why you gotta be so selfish, brother? Why you gotta be so? You won't give the kids nothing outside of child support, man. Why you gotta be selfish, brother? Why you?
Oh, it's not about being selfish at all. I get you, but it ain't about being selfish at all, y'all. There's principles out there.
Roger. You are messing up the principality of it all, brother. you're not taking care of your kids, brother.
They don't live with me. What are you talking about?
No. If they need some shoes and the kids lost them 3-4 times, you gotta take care of that, brother.
They mama put them in some shoes.
No. No, you see your kids with no shoes on, and she didn't drop them off over your house.
Yeah,
So
they gonna go back with no shoes on. If they can't keep up
But
with their
while they're at
shoes,
your house, you're gonna keep them
no,
with no
no,
shoes.
hey, they can
Go ahead.
have, if they can't keep hold of their shoes, they can have shoes to wear while they at my home.
So
Now,
you want to buy them shoes?
when they leave my home, they will take those shoes off and go back barefoot.
So we're clear that when they come to your house, you will get some shoes
No,
from
no, no.
them. Some
The
shoes
thing
will
is,
stay at your house.
children have to learn lessons. If you can't keep up with your shoes, you don't need to get more shoes. You need to learn how to keep up with the ones you got. So since you have shown an inability to keep up with your shoes at your mama's house, these shoes don't go to your mama's house.
That's what I'm asking you.
So Goldman, is it Goldman?
It's
What is it?
Gold P.
Oh, Gold Teeth. Yeah,
Gold
okay.
P. P is in
Mr.
Paul.
Gold. Gotcha. Yeah. So look. And I don't want to step on your opening, and I hope you got most of what you needed to
It's
get
not
out.
that old. I just came up to mess with
Nah, he
Roger.
just messing.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I don't know if you talked about this already, Roger, but you know that there are women who send their kids to their father's raggedy, so that way the father can buy more stuff. You know that, right?
I've talked to fathers. They put me onto this stuff that they purposely send the kids looking raggedy, so the fathers will go out and spend more money on the kids. Now they already spend the child support and everything else. Then they drop the kids off raggedy, and then the father's on some.
Raggedy,
I don't want my
hungry.
kids raggedy, so I'm gonna go buy them more clothes and everything.
Raggedy,
No, but
hungry, and then on top of that, now you know fathers when they get their kids, if they're not living with the mother, they're gonna take care of their kids anyway. But then they send them over there hungry. They send them over there and they say, "Oh, feed them before you send them back." Like, look, they try to squeeze. They use. Look, you know what it is I'm trying to say. I don't want to get into it too much because I'm not trying to get at women. But, basically, child support is what it is. It's mandated by the court. You got to manage that properly. You sending your kid out to your father, his father, raggedy, then you're doing that on purpose. Then the other thing, too, is they try to, make sure the kids eat. We know we're going to feed the kid while we're out. We're going to always do, as the father always does the fun stuff, by the way. And then on top of that, you're going to, what I used to tell guys that were having trouble, because military, we had guys that kind of had to deal with this. I'd be like, hey man, make sure they bring their schoolwork. Go over that stuff with them. Do some fun stuff with them. But I would give guys advice because I say, hey man, and if they're doing like weird stuff like that or trying to take advantage, just let them know right from the rip that that it's not going to slide. You know what the money is, where it's supposed to be going. But you also, got to get involved with your kid too and do all the right things. And I had no problem with the men on my side when I was telling my guys to do stuff like that. It was just it was always story after story after story, and the problem was coming from the other side, and mostly with the women.
I have to push pause real quick because we're going wrong about this. If she's sending my kid to me raggedy, she's sending them hungry. That is the time you take pictures. You call CFS.
There you go.
Like that. I mean, what are we talking about?
I mean,
That's some time.
Well, I'm gonna just tell y'all, hey, I'm a baby daddy. I was married. I went through all that, man. My baby mama sent my daughter over with no shoes. I found myself buying shoes every other weekend. I mean, I went through the whole shot, man. And I get what you're saying, Roger. I mean, I just come up to mess with you, but I get what you're saying. And where brothers get caught up at is our heart is so torn because we want to do for our child, but at the same time, we know we got to take care of ourselves. We know we got, the baby mama who's out of order. We have so many fronts to fight, man, and a lot of brothers struggle with that, and we have to make a decision. And if that decision is well, I'm gonna buy what my daughter needs or my son needs, and just keep it here. Then that's what it is. Even though at points you probably would send the child with the stuff to the mama. You know what the mama's doing, but and when the child grows up, and that's what you have to pretty much go by. The child grows up and see what you did, which speaks to your point, Roger. That the real life stuff has to be shown at some point, and that child will see, hey, my dad, he did what he could for me, and my mom was on that BS. But
All right, now I'm gonna say this: there's ways to fight while not fighting. Now I'm just gonna keep it real, y'all.
yes, sir.
I've heard too many times about how the mamas drop the kids off raggedy, so the father would do a bunch of stuff. Now my approach to this would be, I'll simply tell them to take off that raggedy stuff when they get to the house. Go to your rooms, put on some of your clothes that I bought them over here. They will use their clothes while they're here with me. When it's time to go back home, they're gonna put on the same raggedy stuff they came over with. Okay, whatever that was, they're gonna go back home in that stuff. Okay, the outfit you wear over there will be the outfit you leave in. And at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
that's what I did as well. I did that.
what
So
and my thing is, at the end of the day, they're gonna have an association that at my daddy house I'm fly, at my mama house we bums.
No,
And
man.
now how they grow up and disseminate that information, that's on them at the end of the day. I ain't
yes,
gotta
sir.
tell them nothing against their mama. If they mama dress them up like bums on a regular basis, they're gonna associate that with her. When you come to your daddy house, you're gonna be flat.
Man, I'm taking pictures. I'm sending those clothing to CFS. I'm calling and getting inspections to go to that house. I ain't letting that shit slide.
No,
Well,
I agree with
it
that too.
sounds
I
right.
do agree with
It,
that. I do agree with that. Do all that. But when you're around me, the kids gonna be dressed nice. Cause we gonna go places, we gonna do some stuff. I ain't finna take my kids there looking like bums. But none of those clothes are going to mama's house.
Those clothes are being sent to CFS.
No, I'm saying I'm agree with you. When they drop them off in the raggedy clothes, I'm gonna take the pictures to send send to the
child protection.
Yeah, child protection service. I agree with that, but I'm saying I'm gonna also get them their clothes to wear where they're with dad.
No
That's
problem.
all.
Yeah.
but here's the challenge with that. When you understand what you're up against, when you get involved with all that, and you understand that they're not going to lean the side towards a brother all day. They just don't do that. This is the realistic thing. Well, I'm gonna just say from my experience and being in California, it is a rarity when they lean it. Well, in days of now, they probably changed more, but back then when I was dealing with that system, no, they didn't lean. You can take the pictures, you can do all that, but in general, the system is leaning towards whom? The
No,
woman.
because I know other people who fought and got their kids. I know other people.
Okay, I'm not disputing you on that.
And I'm gonna say
I'm not
this.
disputing.
I'm gonna say this. I do believe that the system will still lean toward the mother. I don't care about how the system is leaning. I'm developing something in my child's mentality. That's the person I actually care about the most, is how my child sees the world. If my child can come to my house and be dressed in decent clothes every time they get there and put on raggedy clothes, they're going to associate we raggedy with mama, but with daddy we look good. It is what it is at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how
I get what you're
my
saying,
children
Roger.
gonna see the world. And that's what I care about the most, how my
I
children
get
see the world. I
I
may
get what
never
you're
gain
saying,
custody of
Roger.
my kids. Maybe I do gain custody. All that is beside the point to me. It's just my children are going to see what people are. And to me, everything a life lesson. And childhood is not necessarily supposed to be easy. A lot of people try to put that childhood is supposed to be easy. No, I learned a lot of tough lessons as a kid, and they made me a better adult. So I don't have an issue having my kids learn lessons early about stuff that's going on. I think I'm preparing them to be better adults. And My personal belief is when I die, my kids shouldn't need me to be here anyway. Whatever I need to teach them, I'm supposed to teach them before I die. So the earlier we get to it, that's just less stuff to do later.
Well, I look. I'm not in disagreement with you brothers on these aspects. I'm just sharing uh, experiences that coming from the West and coming from being in that system a number of times to where I ended up with my child, and um, I was able to, because if we're to say that fathers are about their children, then that's what I was about. And the mother went to the courts, or we came to an agreement with that the child will be with me, and I took care of her, and I have to. I made sure she was in school. She did. Um, she was on my work schedule, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My point is, before you get to that point, you go through the ups and downs of trying to get to that point of
Right.
where you have a child, and you're able to take care of what you need to take care of without interruption by the mother. But it is not cut and dry. We can talk all day about, yeah, we would do this, that, and other, but when you are actually in it, and when you are actually around other brothers who are experiencing the same thing, and
Look,
you're in that,
look, hold on, y'all. This show ain't about battling for child support. It's just about black women prefer it over husbands.
So,
yes, sir.
Rob,
Hold
and
on,
that,
wait. I just want to say that I do get your experience, and I don't want to minimize that, and I do hear you. I do get that, and I do recognize it's a process. But whatever reality I need to create to the court so that I get the kids, then that's just what reality I need to create. So if she needs to be a crack whore, if it takes me 3 months or 3 years, I'm gonna make sure she be a crack whore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I totally get that. It is what it is, because if it's a war about your kids, it's a war about your kids.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I don't know the line about what you don't do for your children. I'm not
Right.
aware of that line.
I'm just
Okay,
not
I'll
a
just
good
say that.
person, so
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'm not
I'm
aware
well,
still
of
not
that.
a good person.
it's got to be abusive and detrimental to the kid and then father. So
Yeah,
whenever I have this, Roger, I go outside a little bit and kind of, go to other
yeah,
panels,
hold on.
and
After you done, we got another gentleman here that I'm trying to get in. So go on, say what you're gonna say, but we letting him in after you. Go ahead.
Hey,
okay, yeah, so,
I didn't give my opening statement either, but go ahead.
oh yeah, yeah. So real quick, so to that point, I always whenever I'm talking to other folks that are not basically up to speed with all of this, and they start complaining about men, what they're doing, and black men especially, I go, well, just normalize, giving kids to the fathers, and that usually shuts down the conversations. And then what happens is they usually go into why they don't want to. See, what it forces them to actually admit why they don't want to make sure that they want to, keep the child support, keep the custody, and keep all the issues and problems associated with that. But when I present, hey, just normalize giving kids to the fathers, and that way y'all can stop blaming fathers and saying what they are doing and not doing. And then I go into about how the kids actually come out, equitable as it relates to single fathers raising the kids in two-parent homes anyway. And then what happens is then now they gotta justify why they don't want to do that, and
Right.
it kind of messes them up. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to bring that point up.
Now, good point to bring up, and it shows that the children's welfare is of no concern to them. It's never about the children's welfare, because everybody at this point having these discussions, I'm sure they're aware that children raised by their fathers do better than children raised by their mothers. That should be common knowledge of anybody speaking on this stuff. And even if it ain't, if they don't make an adjustment when the information is presented, then that just takes what time they own anyway. But let me get Kevin in. Kevin 3905, you have the floor, my brother. Go ahead.
What's up, fellas? Man, for you fellas, man, that have never been on child support, I was on child support for 21 years. And if you've never been on child support, you need to go to a child support court and just sit in there and watch guys get railroaded. and you guys will stop with this hypothetical. I'll do this. I'll do that. It's not a criminal court. The woman doesn't have to prove anything. All she has to do is just say it. It doesn't matter what it is, and they're gonna grant it. And you have to prove that she's lying, bro. This system that we live in, that we're living in, when it comes to child support here, it is so tilted. It's so one-sided. All these hypotheticals we come up with don't mean nothing. And I found out the hard way. I paid over $150,000 worth of child support for one child.
Well, I mean, those things do happen, but do understand, y'all, I'm not coming up with hypotheticals. I said once the court
Oh no,
decides
no, I
what
wasn't.
the
I wasn't
payment
speaking.
is.
I wasn't speaking about you. My sauce is coming up with this hypothetical. I'll do this. I'll do that. They're gonna laugh at you and they're gonna say, "Yeah, this is how much you're gonna be paying, sir."
No,
I
no,
was gonna
no,
say,
Roger,
What?
Roger, you were saying it too. You were saying what you would do. You just said it, what you would do.
Yeah,
So you in that too.
I
Man,
said
you could.
I'm gonna pay the amount that they mandate me to pay, though. I said that.
I
Whatever
But you
that
I
amount
said
is,
personally.
I'm
but
just
you
not
said
giving
you
them nothing
won't
more.
do. No, you said you won't. What you won't do for the kid outside of child
so
support.
Oh
hold
no,
on, wait,
no.
wait, 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 hold on.
I agree with that 100%. That
No,
you shouldn't.
nobody gave hypotheticals, right?
Oh no,
You
no, no.
said
You
that,
gave plenty of hypotheticals.
you said
Plenty.
that women. Wait. You said that women send their kids over raggedy, right? That's not a hypothetical. So I'm going to take in pictures, not a hypothetical. I'm going to send it to child protection. That's not a hypothetical.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
No, but what Kev is saying is when you actually are in it, like I expressed, then you have a different view and you have to move accordingly. And
I'm not.
it's not just talking about what you do in the court, but it's the
well,
outside
no.
forces that
The thing
contribute to
is,
that.
the thing is, that's not what we're talking about at all. We're not talking about trying to gain custody. I'm talking about the fact that women prefer child support over
But
husbands. We're not
that's
talking
part of
about a
it though.
custody battle. The
That's
custody,
part of it though, Roger.
the
That's
custody
part of
battle
it.
ain't part. The custody
Yes, it
battle.
is.
The
If
custody
she
battle.
got you in court, she's preferring child support, right?
No, I mean, to me, the custody battle is just proof of the point that I'm making.
So it
It's
is
just proof
part
of it.
of. So it is part of.
But
well,
I'm not.
it's one aspect. It's one aspect of it, and you're right. They weren't hypothetical situations. They were anecdotal, basically life experience, and
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
and the thing is, everybody got to make their decision on what they're gonna do if they find themselves in that situation. Now, if he willing to put cocaine in the car to get her caught up, it is what it is. That's what some daddies gonna do. I mean, no, I'm saying let's be realistic, y'all. When it
You
comes
got to
to
watch
your
out for hot sauce, man. He's gonna get you with the.
what,
He's gonna set you up with the drug.
what
He
I'm
gonna
gonna
get you.
well, I'm gonna say this though. When it comes to your child, where is the actual line about what you will and won't do? To my understanding, there ain't no real line. When you say somebody's kid is involved and then somebody do something that we think is
Yeah.
quote unquote bad, I don't look at that as like no real bad. I just be like, well, his kid was involved. What you want? Ain't no real line when it comes to children.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna give you an example of what you guys were talking about. You guys were talking about kids going to private school. My daughter was in private school. She would be in private school for 3 to 6 months every 3 years, so that she could get more money for child support. She quit her job every 3 years so she can get more money for child support. These are the type of things that you'll see if, man, you go sit in that courtroom. If you got the time, you go sit in that courtroom for a couple of days a week. Man, you will see some stuff that's unbelievable. The courts do not care about men. They don't care about you having to take care of your other children or your own house. They do not care. It will jade you if you're in that system, and you'll be like what Roger said. I didn't pay. I didn't send any more money other than what child support mandated. Now, when I was on arrearages, because they can't put you on arrearages when they raise it up, and the mother will call and say, "Hey, I need some money for shoes because she's going back to school." I would send it through child support onto the card. She would be heated because it's about control, and they want to affect your life in a financial way. That's all it is when it comes to black women. They want
Hey,
control
but
of your
look,
life.
look, look.
Hmm.
This
So,
is
hey,
I get where Roger is going with, but back to where Roger is at is that they prefer, the conversation is that they prefer uh, to child support over being in married
I,
or the relationship, right?
I,
And I
I,
know
I
the,
agree.
the I know the conversation will grow legs. We've grown legs, but I had to point out to Roger, like you, Kev, had to point out to Roger, like, hey man, there's different nuances here that will contribute to the reason why, which they will use the reason why they don't they prefer child support versus being in a relationship.
100%. I was married when my daughter was born, and she didn't have to work. I worked. I worked 80 hours a week, so she didn't have to work.
80 hours? Damn, that's twice the regular work week. Damn.
I mean, that happens in a lot of
So, hey,
situations.
Roger, my wife's getting on me. She said I'm talking to my internet friends too much, and I'm gonna have to go. But he's over here. He's over here meeting with me about
Hey, we
you
need
and
to
your
serve
internet
you a
friends.
child support fine. We need to
Yeah.
serve you a child
Nah.
support fine.
Where we are, she don't like me talking to my internet friends. That's all it is. She's like, hey,
We got to serve you a
but,
fine. Yeah,
but
don't
check it
come
out.
up
Check it out.
here.
No, I did want to ask you something real quick though, Roger. So, do you see welfare as a form of child support that women are preferring, well, specifically Black women, instead of like the actual husband? Do you see that as a form of child support
I
also?
mean,
Because that's them supporting the kid, but just through government.
at the end of the day, that's still not a husband. She had the child and she getting payment from anywhere beyond the husband. That's a preference.
Okay. So the reason I brought that up is that again, I told you every now and then, when I have time, I go outside. I go outside the Roger Report live, and kind of spread the talking points, or not even talking points, just the logic and common sense that we speak of over here. And there are women who will literally say, and they will deny that that they're not making a conscious decision to do that. And then I remind them of all the data that supports that. And then one guy actually, got into the whole, how people like to mention the Moynihan Report goes all the way back to 1965. Nobody ever reads it. Everybody says they read it, but they don't ever read it because it's 400 plus pages. But I read it, and then I read the summary report and all the recommendations and everything else. All of that being said, they try to, when they don't have a husband, but the baby daddy's not doing what he's supposed to do, because that's the guy that they picked, then what happens is then they're using the government as another form of child support while at the same time trying to deny it. See, and this is the issue that they're having. And then when we call them out on it and say, hey, look, this is exactly what you're doing, then it's like, oh no, we didn't choose the government over the man and all this other stuff. You see how I'm kind of what I'm getting at?
Oh,
So it's another
absolutely.
form of child support.
And that's what I'm saying. The numbers show that they prefer the child support because it's the same thing. Because every last woman who's even on welfare, there was some man involved at some point that she ain't married to.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it is
All
what
right.
it is on that note.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because that's another part of the conversation that people don't like discuss. And then when you get real about it, then I'm telling you, the women will openly deny it, and they start coming up with all kinds of ways to babble and explain and just openly lie and distort the information. They start actually talking. They sound like Charlie Kirk up in there.
Okay.
All right.
And before you disappear, H. Rebels, make a comment in the chat so I can give you your wrench. And if there's anybody who had a wrench in the chat right now, make a comment saying wrench so I can give you a wrench. Okay.
Okay. All right. No problem. I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. I'm gonna let my wife say hello for a second. She's looking at me like, okay, get off the phone. You talking to your internet friends. Roger, go ahead and say hello to Roger for a second.
Hello. How
But
are you?
Oh, you
she
the
gonna put
boss,
she
huh?
gonna put you on
You the
child support if
boss.
you don't hang up.
the boss down line. He got a boss.
Making me get off the phone, my internet friends. She know I
Yeah,
don't talk to nobody
yeah.
a whole lot, but
Your boss is
anyway, we
about
out.
to tell you to cut the line. Get off where I charge
All
you.
right, now.
Your
I'll
boss
go ahead
gonna
and see you
charge
that
you
message,
for
Roger, but I'm gonna catch you guys in a little bit, okay? I might be able to come back up later. I'll talk to you later,
Okay.
man.
All right. Well,
yeah, you know we
y'all
gonna
take
talk
care.
stuff. You know we gonna talk stuff when you get off, man.
Y'all take care, man. Well, the Rise Report ain't finna mess up nobody's marriage. Okay, that's not what we about over here.
Hey, we're not gonna mess it up, but we will acknowledge who's the boss.
All right. Now shout out
Well,
to
the follow up.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, the follow up what he was saying, and it ties into your theme. Child support is used in the black community to as part of the welfare system because the more children they have, the more subsidies they get. So yes, they rather have children out of wedlock. They don't care if they're married or not. They rather have children out of wedlock so that they can get more from the government system. And depending on which states you're in, the men are responsible financially for that stuff anyway.
Exactly. So the thing is, there's a lot of reasons why women want to not actually have a black husband. Because remember, now if the husband is not a black guy, none of this stuff matters. This stuff don't even come up at the end of the day. This is black women not wanting to be second to a nigga. That's their mindset about this stuff. So yeah, my thing is, no matter how you handle the situation when it come up, because you could quote unquote hypothetically put some crack in her put some crack in her car and then call the police so she can get caught up with it. You could do that and play that game. I'm not saying you don't play that game. All I'm saying is, when it comes to a child, I don't know where the line is. You know what I'm saying? Because I would kill you over my kid. So I don't know what the line is about kids. You know, it just is what it is. When other people do stuff for their child and they in the right, I never flinch on it. I don't care what they did if they was in the right about their child. It is what it is to me. And my thing is, you should have known better. What you expect them to do if you're doing something to their child. That's just the way it goes at the end of the day. You know.
Yep.
Okay, I know y'all lost me for a second. I'm back.
Yeah, I was like, what happened to Roger?
Nah, they got me.
Child support enforcement got him.
Hey, man, the word is still gonna be there. The word is still gonna be there. You know, my thing is that at the end of the day, you got to do what you think is best in your situation. I can't control the court system. I'm not saying I would even try to control the court system. My thing is just, if you do bring court into it, and you have a third party tell me what I got to pay for the kid, if we get to that point, don't expect nothing else. And the children are going to lose out on something, because at the end of the day, they got to learn a lesson about life. And then how do I want them to deal with the situation when they get older? If I have daughters, I want my daughters to see that y'all may call it petty, but my thing is, my daughters need to see I'm going to be that petty. So expect a man in your future to be that petty. If your daddy was that petty, if you play with some guy in the future, he might be that petty too. I need my sons to see you don't do nothing extra, because they may have kids by somebody one day, and the same thing may be put on them. So yeah, I'm going to do it, y'all. I'm going to do it in good faith. I'm going to do it as it's what needs to be done. Now, keep in mind, I don't even expect no woman to live and have my children outside. I don't even know if I'm there yet, where I can have my children being raised in somebody else's home, because I'm the father. I'm supposed to protect my children. I don't even know if that's actually possible for a woman to do. But if I was in that situation, okay, if I was in that situation, I can't give you nothing extra. Just off the principle alone. The court shouldn't be telling me what to spend on my child. My child should not deal with none of this situation at the end of the day.
Roger. It's great to imagine, brother. You have a beautiful imagination. But when you get in it, hey man, them heartstrings tend to rewire themselves. And you will tend to make different decisions. Ask your father, man. Your father had to make some decisions. Like, oh man.
Brother, it is what it is. If you want to bring the court into it, because I wouldn't bring the court into it. So
I'm not speaking about the court. I'm not necessarily speaking about the court.
Well, I'm saying even though like say for instance, somebody dropped the kids off at my home looking raggedy. I'm just gonna put them in different clothes while they're there, and y'all gonna take them clothes off. You're gonna put them up, put them back on when you go home.
Yeah, I've done that, and I mean, hey, I get what you're saying, Roger. I get what you're saying, but I would just have to say, I mean, look, I can say, you know what? When I get in that Lamborghini, this is what I'm going to do. But if I had that Lamborghini, well, it's only an imagination of what I would do.
No, I get what you're saying, but plans are plans. You plan stuff so you know what to do when you're in the situation.
Plans change, Roger.
Change them, though. They don't have to change.
Look, you may not want them to change, but that's why you adjust and move accordingly to whatever happens.
Yeah,
it's just like being in the military. It's just like being in the military. We plan to move in this direction. We plan to move, but if that direction ends up detouring us into another direction, well, we have to adjust and move accordingly. That's just what happens.
I do understand that, but I'm only speaking to the things I have control over. Okay. I have control over giving extra. See, the court can do something to you where you got to pay, you know, like the general amount people pay is $400 a month. The court may say pay $400 a month. It's my decision if I pay $405, and I'm saying I'm not paying $405.
Okay, you may not pay. No, Roger, you may not pay $405 directly, but you may pay $100 more on top of that $405 indirect.
I mean, you're gonna spend more just by doing stuff with your kids at the end of the day. But when it comes to the mother getting some type of support, she'll never see it. If I spend money, okay, maybe I take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? Okay, cool. I spent more, but that was with me having fun with my children, me just putting my children in a place where they can enjoy themselves. Because you know, parents get joy from watching their kids have joy. It ain't gonna have nothing to do with the mama at that point. And guess what? They still gonna be dressed nice when we get there. And when they get sit back to mom's place, they gonna have the same raggedy clothes on that they came in their own.
Well, Roger, hold on, Roger. I get what you're saying. I'm just wanting you to see it from the aspect, and the title of this show is "Black Women Prefer Child Support," right?
Yeah, because they
right
do. Absolutely.
Okay, so listen, child support. I mean, because a lot of us, in general, when you say child support, they prefer child support. We will automatically think, in general, they're talking about the courts. Well, child support is going to come from different ways. It ain't necessarily child support is child support. It don't have to necessarily come from where the courts are putting you in a position where you have to pay the child support. No, child support is when the child is dropped off to your house and the child is raggedy and you go out and buy some stuff for the child to look decent while she's in your presence. That's child support.
No, I do get that, but that's something the woman doesn't have access to.
And that's right. And I'm saying you're gonna. What my main point is, you want to move accordingly. You're going to adjust and move accordingly.
I didn't say
that's a military mindset.
I never made a case that men ain't gonna pay child support. I haven't said that one time that we're not gonna pay child support. Well, this is the real world. You're going to end up paying some form of child support. The issue is to do it the best way you can without having to be a benefit to her. So yeah,
and I'm
if
saying
they tell me to pay $400, I'm gonna pay the $400. But
and I'm saying to you, Roger, I'm saying to you, you say I'm only countering what you're saying because if this is about women prefer Black women especially prefer child support over the man. Then we have to look at all aspects of what the child support is and be able to counter whatever part we're talking about here. Because it seems to me like you're just focused on one side of it.
No, brother. My thing is when it comes down to it, the point is the woman doesn't want to be under the leadership of the man. That's why she prefers child support in the first place. I'm not saying we live in a country that you're gonna be able to get around child support. So yeah, you pay what you got to pay, You know what I'm saying? If the courts are involved. Now remember, I say the family court shouldn't even exist. So let alone. So it's not that I agree with them, but at the end of the day, because of the system we in, you pay what you got to pay. But when it comes down to it, understand that this is just a way to hurt you as a man. So you never put yourself in position for them to hurt you as a man. You have the relationship you have with your children, but the main part of having the relationship with your children is for men to start explaining to the children what is actually going on. The biggest issue we
Okay,
have
let's bring it
with
back.
child support.
Bring me back, Roger. Bring me back.
The biggest issue we have with child support is the kids aren't being told by the fathers what's actually going on. The kids should know what's going on. A kid should know dad got to pay $1,000 a month. A kid should know mama got this money on such and such day of the month. Or a kid should know this is taken out of daddy's check. The child should know everything that's going on with child support so the child can make better decisions about what type of community they belong to. That is the major issue with child support.
So are we focusing this on I'm sticking to the title of the show. Black women prefer child support over black women prefer child support, right?
Over husbands. They
over
prefer
husbands.
child support over husband. And that's in regards to a black husband.
Okay, so if she prefers that, are we tying child support to are we bringing in the courts as part of this conversation or no?
No, you could bring in the courts as part of the conversation, but the issue that needs to be solved is the way children view things as they grow up and become adults.
But then this shouldn't be titled that, because it should be titled differently. Because if you're saying black women prefer child support over a husband, then our focus is child support, and people in general are going to tie that to the courts. Now, we're not talking about this thing from a court aspect. Well,
we are talking about it from a court aspect. The issue is how black men.
Court. I'm saying court. Court.
No, I'm saying I'm saying court. The issue is how men are handling it. The issue we have is because we're not telling kids what's going on. The mother is able to tell the kid all kinds of crazy stories about what's going on because the fathers aren't talking to the children. That's what our main issue is as black folks in this country. The fathers ain't telling the kids what's going on. The children grow up
it's
with
not about her. This is about the kids then. Right?
The thing is, this is how you solve it. The issue is her, because she has created a situation where she's getting child support and she's telling the kids all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, the children don't know that she preferred child support other than the husband. And the reason the kids don't know because we ain't told them. The children think daddy daddy just don't want to be a husband. Daddy just don't want to take care of kids. That's what the children think. You can't fix the court system, but you can fix the relationship you have and how your children view the world as they're growing up. That's the part you can do something about. Because the children believe daddy just didn't want to be no husband. You hear all day long about how daddy didn't want to be in a relationship and daddy left some woman, or the men done abandoned the kids. That's all you hear just about online.
How old is the child when they start getting child support in your mind?
I don't think that matters at the end of the day, because the thing is,
it would matter.
I'm saying
if she got married.
Now hold on, let me just say the viewpoint when the child becomes an adult, the viewpoint that they have is what matters the most. That's what I'm saying. The viewpoint that they have as an adult who has been that child who was supposedly getting child support, their viewpoint is the men don't do what they supposed to do. I was in a bad situation growing up because my father didn't do this. My father didn't do that. And that's not usually the case at all. The case usually is the mama don't want to be involved with her husband, so she puts her children through all kinds of stuff because she just don't want to be involved with her husband. She don't care what her kids go through.
But Roger, look, if let's say you have a couple that gets married, and then the baby is born 6 months later, right? She was already pregnant. They got married, and then 6 months later, the baby is born, and then the next thing you know, 3, 4, 5 months later, she divorces you, right? Next thing you know, well, now you're in court. She wants child support. Now, in general, usually the child ends up with the mother. I mean, they've made some strides for that to change, but in general, it still usually happens because you have to prove quite a bit that why, which I think is incorrection, why the woman should receive the baby versus the man should receive the baby. Now, uh, during this time, you paying child support, the child is with the mother. Now she's constantly saying stuff and doing her programming off
Okay,
top.
I get that, but see now this is what I'm saying. Where you run into an issue. Let's say this was
Okay.
my child.
Okay.
My child, once my child grows up and understands that mama got divorced in less than 10 years, my child gonna know mama never wanted to be married. Mama misused that. Mama was pulling a scam the whole time. My kid gonna know that because my kid's gonna understand if you're not
At
married
what
for these
age?
10,
At what age?
as young as possible. It just
Okay.
depends on your
So,
child's development,
but
but as young as
Roger,
possible. By the
see,
time they
the
become
child is
adult,
no, Roger. When the child is with her, the baby is a newborn. The baby's with her. She's going to speak word into that child off top, especially when she has something against you, and she's going to day and night lace that child with that. You going not to say that you can't work to change that, but you're gonna be in an uphill battle all day because of that dynamic.
all you got to do is teach your child certain principles. The principles gonna stand no matter what mama say.
Yeah, but from born to 3, she's got time, brother.
Now,
Now I'm
I get
saying
that, but what a 3-year-old gonna do to me? I mean, that don't matter.
it's
You know
not
what
it's
I'm
not
saying? I get what you're
it's not
saying.
about what you.
I get what you're saying, but come on, it's a 3-year-old. What's gonna start mattering
Yeah,
is when the
yeah,
child.
but you're going to see. Look, Roger, you're going to see these things, man. And as I said to you before, when you actually end it, your mind says this, but your physical is going to rewire itself to
No,
address this, that, and other. I'm
no, it's
telling you what
not.
it is. Look,
No, it's
okay, look,
not,
listen.
bro. I'm
If
not
you
worried
look,
about the part you can't control. The
okay,
part we need to focus on, the part we actually have control over. I can't.
I'm with you on it.
I can't change what the mama gonna say to the kid.
You
But
can't, right?
if I teach my child principles about life, these things will always be true no matter who you're talking about. Once my child start understanding principles of life, which a lot of times is going to start happening around 11, 12, 13 years old, they're going to start really getting a hold of principles of life. They're going to start becoming conscious of these different things.
Okay.
If you do this right, at the end of the day, the child going to understand, but especially
If
by the time
you
they
do
18
it
and become an
right,
adult, their
Roger.
mama is on BS.
If you do it right, Roger. I mean, realistically speaking, man, we can think that all day. I'm just wanting you to see that and promote that there may be different nuances that may have you change directions. That's all I'm saying.
My I get what you're saying, but I'm saying you don't have to. If a child calls you and say, "Hey, I want a new bike," hey, son, your mama get X amount of dollars. Let's say we use the 400. Your mama get $400 every month for child support. Why don't you just tell her to get you a bike when she get her child support? You see what I'm saying? I don't care
Yes,
nothing
sir.
about
I
them
do.
having an
Yes,
issue with
sir.
each other. The main issue black men have is we don't want the child to have an issue with the mama. We always trying to protect the mama anyway. Son, your mama got a check of $400. You want a new bike? Bike costs what? How much the bike cost? The bike 125, Dad. Okay, your mama got the 125 on the 3rd of next month. Just tell her to get you a bike out of it. Let them have that bike. I don't care that they
Well,
got an issue with each other.
I don't dispute you on that, Roger. I guess where I'm at is not the. I think where I'm at is we gotta also push that you must adapt and adjust, man. That's all I'm saying. because
No,
we can draw the picture of how we want things to lay out or how we think it should lay out. But if you don't move accordingly, then you set yourself up for failure.
I
That's all I'm saying. We shouldn't set ourselves up for failure thinking this plan is not going to change.
I totally get what you're saying. And to me, the biggest failure going on right now is black men are concerned with children having an issue with their mama. Because we're not telling the kids what they need to know. I'm gonna
But then that takes away
let
from
my
this the
child
stuff.
have that fight with
That,
his mama.
but
Your
that takes
mama
away
got
from the topic, Roger. I mean, if we're talking about black women desire child
no.
support,
I'm gonna teach.
I'm lost. Go ahead.
I'm gonna teach my child that your mama preferred child support rather than the husband. Because if she was married, all this stuff that my child comes up with that they're supposed to have, well, your mama would have that if she was married. Your mama don't get it because she ain't married. She's single. That's what happens
No.
with single people.
She can do that even if she was married. What you mean?
No.
She can do.
A child is gonna come up with stuff that they believe that's supposed to be going on. And when the child
But you
comes up
can't
with
hinge
that
this
stuff,
on them being married, though. You can't hinge this on being married.
No. When the child comes up with whatever they talking about, they supposed to have, I'm gonna say, well, your mama would have that, but your mama didn't choose to be married.
No. Even if they wasn't married, even if they were married, they still can experience that. What you mean?
Bro, when
The
a
relationship
child,
is the relationship. The child does not know
no.
about marriage
Stop,
until they get older.
stop thinking about it as an adult. When a child says what they think is supposed to be there that ain't there, they're coming from a child's perspective. And the
Yes, sir.
response to their child perspective is you would have it, but your mama ain't married. That's gonna be the response.
Okay. I think when you say because your mama ain't married, I get lost in that.
Because you're thinking as it from an adult perspective. A child is thinking from a child's perspective. A child believes certain things are just supposed to be in place. They have no rhyme or reason on how it's supposed to get in place and all that type of stuff. My thing is that would be in place, but your mama ain't married. They're going to develop an issue with their mama making the choices that their mama made.
So
and that's not going to
if
be a
you're
problem
saying,
for me.
so you're saying if the mother was married to you, then it would be different for the child?
Of course, whatever they say they missing, you would have it, but your mama ain't married.
Roger, no. Look, you could be married and the child still doesn't receive that bite you're talking about.
What thing will a child come at you with that they believe is supposed to be there, and they not gonna respect the answer that you would have it, but your mama ain't married? We're talking about children, man.
Yeah,
What thing
okay,
a child gonna come up with and come to the conclusion that you wrong, that if your mom was married, you would have it. A child ain't gonna come up with nothing against that.
But the child don't even understand the marriage thing. Not until they get older.
They don't have to understand. They just need the information so they can start coming to certain conclusions. If a child say, well, you know what, I want a bike. And mama say, I can't have no bike because we live in this building and they ain't gonna allow us to keep bikes. Well, if me and your mom was married, we wouldn't be living there and you would have a bike.
So if the mom was married to somebody, not you.
No, you could say yourself, if your mama was married to me, you wouldn't be living there because that's the absolute truth, and you would have a bike.
Okay.
Your
Now we're getting
you can't get no bike.
Now we're getting somewhere because you can't say. I mean, according to your first statement, if your mom was married, then but you didn't put you in that position.
Okay, well,
you just said if your mom was married.
Yeah, well, now, you know what? If she married to somebody else, it still could happen. The issue is your mom ain't married. But truth be told, if she was married to me, she wouldn't be living there because we wouldn't be living in two separate places.
Okay, that's that. Okay, now we're on that now. We're on that.
Well, I'm saying at first though, you was thinking from an adult perspective. My thing is you got to think. A child is asking from a child's perspective. They're not going to have an issue with the answer. What they're going to have an issue is why won't mama do stuff so I can get my bike? That's what they're gonna do. They're a kid.
Yeah, and I'm saying to you, they don't necessarily know every dynamic of your relationship, whether it's titled marriage or not. They just know you are together.
But they
That's it.
will know what they're told. If I
Okay, when
say
they get older,
they're gonna know then. If they 12 and they got an issue with a bike, and I say the only reason you ain't got no bike is because me and your mama ain't married.
That's 12. But when they're 4, 3 and 4, they ain't gonna understand that.
We're not gonna have those conversations when they 3 and 4.
You can say what you're not gonna have.
A
You can
4-year-old,
say what you're not gonna have.
gonna ask for a bike and they gonna get told yes or no. And that's gonna be the end of
it. That's right. But when you talking to a 3 and 4-year-old, well, especially being the father, it's not just cut and dry. Yes, you can say no, you're not getting that. You can say that, but once again, when you're a father, the rewiring will take place off top. I'm just telling you,
bro. I was trained. Kids have opinions as long as you give it to them. Until then, their opinions don't mean nothing. I grew up as a child, but told that my whole life. So guess what I think about my child's opinion?
But you aren't biologically a father, though.
They gonna come down with the same thing. The sway stuff got passed on to me. Stuff gonna get passed on to them, bro.
No, because the times won't allow that.
Brother,
the way things were back in 1970 are not the same as they are now.
My child can't have an opinion that I don't. My child cannot have an opinion that I disagree with in my home. My child can't do that.
Okay. I don't care what. But I'm just saying you adjust. I'm just saying, man, you adjust to what the times are. That's all I'm saying.
My child may be adjusted up out that door because you can't have your own opinion that I disagree with in my home.
Right. I'm not saying they have their opinion would count or anything like that. We're talking about child support, right?
The child support gonna be paid regardless.
Okay, so I'm just saying, Roger. I'm just saying, Roger.
Let me read this.
Go ahead, Roger.
Real quick, get to these other because I got 2 other guys up here. Shout out to Sarah B. She says, "I'm with Raj. All these things should be explained honestly, so kids don't do the same stuff when they're grown," which is a very good point. You know, if the children know the type of trifling stuff that adults were doing, a lot of them wouldn't repeat the same behavior when they grown.
That's not true. That's not true.
I think a lot of them would. I ain't say all. A lot of them wouldn't.
I'm saying that's not true.
No, well, what I'm saying is, if they were able to recognize it as trifling when they were children, they're not going to necessarily repeat it as adults. The reason adults repeat a lot of trifling behavior is because they take it as accepted and normal, and they repeat trifling behavior because nobody ever told them when they was a kid that this is wrong. So when they could become adults, they do the same trifling stuff their mama did. If they got a trifling daddy, they do the same trifling thing that their daddy did because they never were faced with the fact that this stuff is actually trifling. They just look at it as normal.
Well. I mean, we can have a perspective all day, but I'm saying to you, that's not necessarily true.
It ain't gonna happen in all cases. Nothing's gonna be 100%. But let me let these other gentlemen get in here. We got Champ Cop for Life for them been here, and we got Jado. So I want to let them get in. So Champ Cop for Life, you got it, my brother.
Hey, what's going on? Happy Wednesday.
Hey, peace, brother. Peace, brother.
Peace, brothers. I tell you what, Roger, this subject that you put on Black women prefer child support over husbands, I love it, and it's true. I mean, if you go back 40 years ago, where you had all these Black women involved with their children and everything else, single and everything else, they asked. The reporter asked, "Would you rather have a husband right now?" All of them said no. They said no. Why would we need a husband and everything else? Because we're getting all the benefits and everything else. We're getting Section 8 and everything else. We get a little bit of welfare, food stamps and everything else. And this cycle has been going on, since that time. Actually, a little bit longer than that. Maybe going back to the early 1970s, late 60s, and everything else. Through LBJ's Great Society movement and everything else. And just these sisters, they taking advantage of it, and they find another way, with programs being cut off and everything else, they go ahead and try to find a black man who's an athlete, whether it's the NBA or the NFL. They purposely get pregnant and everything else without a ring and everything else. They said, he's dusty and all that type of stuff. I got my child. Now give me my monthly payment and everything else. Exhibit A, Anthony Edwards with that lady, that she was hanging out with and everything else. And they go after rappers, they go after celebrities, they go after black men who are making money and everything, whether it's illegal means and everything else. And then next they go up here on this internet, on YouTube, TikTok, and everything else, bashing black men all the time and everything else. So, it's a cycle that's been going on for generations. And, you're right. Black women prefer child support over husbands and everything else. You're gonna find the other half of sisters that want to have a husband and everything else. But part of it is because once Uncle Sam start cutting you off and everything else, you go on these dating apps and everything else, and you're looking to find a man, to try to help you and everything else. And unfortunately, they want to turn you into a simp and everything else. So I'm gonna land my plane there.
Okay. And I'm gonna give it to Jado since he done came up. Jado, you got it, my brother.
Hey, what's going on, Roger? Gentlemen on the panel, everybody in the chat. Shout out to the replay gang, man. I don't think, we need to shout out them too. But
real talk. Shout out to the replay gang. They definitely matter. They definitely. Y'all hit the like when y'all on the replay gang too. Don't just not hit the like because you ain't, because you're on the replay game and not in the live joint. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like anyway. Go ahead, my brother.
It works the same way. Yes, sir. Man, it's very interesting, man. I'm listening to Roger, I'm listening to you, and I'm contrasting the difference between you and the conversation you're having with Gold P, man. And I can definitely just hear in the brother Gold P's voice that he's been through it, man. And I'm speaking on that from that aspect as well, man. Unfortunately, Roger, I wish things worked the way you said it worked, but it don't work that way a lot of times, man. These kids, they develop a very it's an emotional attachment to their mothers that, and especially if they're spending the majority of their time with them, you don't know what's gonna happen, man. You can plant a lot of seeds. You know what I'm saying? And I suggest that men do plant those seeds. And you can plant them as early as you decide to. Some people say, oh, man, this child is 3 years old. I don't want to be saying that. I don't want to, Hey, I say you can start as an infant, man, if you want to, all the way up until, you're no longer, responsible for them financially. And I just say this I agree with the whole premise of your show, Roger, 100%. These women, black women, they prefer child support over husbands. Husbands married, it represents structure. They have to get under structure. They have to be accountable, and they have to fall under the leadership of their husband. And a lot of them reject that. So they do prefer the child support. Me, man, I have 3 daughters, man. And I can see the difference in all of them, depending on their age and how much time I was actually, in the household with them prior to me getting a divorce. Their mother has a stronghold on them. And so me, man, I've gotten to the point, and a lot of people consider me like some mean guy or whatever, or maybe a ruthless, nice guy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm to the point. This is me, and I'm just speaking on. I don't care what my kids think of me when they get as they get older. I really don't care right now, to be honest with you. And I know that sounds crazy, for some people. What you mean you don't care? I don't give a damn. And I have my oldest daughter, which is an adult right now. We have a great relationship. My middle daughter, not as great. And my youngest daughter, not as great, even less great. You know what I'm saying? So I just do what I have to do. I tell them the truth. I speak the truth no matter what, if I have the opportunity to. And I let the chips fall where they may. They might come home. They might say, you know what, Dad, I see what you were saying all these years. And they might not give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to plant the seeds if I need to. And unfortunately, man, when we do stuff for our kids, I don't care if it's a direct child support payment or you do something for your kids. If you provide child support to your ex or the baby mama or whatever, and you do something for the kids, and she doesn't have to do that thing for the kids, she's benefited from that regardless. If she hasn't had to do that thing, and if you really look at it, it doesn't matter. She's still benefiting because she doesn't have to do that thing that you did. Anything extra. Like I said, and I've came to the conclusion quite some years ago that I just give child support. I tell my children that, and if they get mad at me or whatever, they don't get something that they want, and it doesn't come out of their direct child support payment, the hell with it. And I think men should take that stance. I think more men should take that stance. But anyway, yeah, I guess I'll end right there. I'm kind of rambling right now. Appreciate you having me up, bro.
Hey,
yeah,
man,
I agree with you, J Joe. I think we're at the point right now that we're gonna have to just. I like what you just said. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna just say. Oh, go ahead, Roger. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna let you go.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm gonna say if child support won't get it, maybe they don't need it.
Well, I'm gonna just say, Jado. I'm with you on that. My thing was just to acknowledge that we have to be able to adapt and adjust to and move accordingly to real time situations, because like in your opener you said, Roger, I it's great to have that direction and you would like it to lay out, but when you're really in it, things take a different direction. And especially if you have girls, well, shoot, you that relationship's supposed to be like a beautiful relationship between a father and his daughters, but it don't always turn out like that. And I don't have the best relationship with my daughter, but my nephews I have a great relationship with. My son, yeah, we have a relationship, but it's not as great as we would like it to be, as I would like it to be. But I had a great relationship with my father. So I adjusted and moved accordingly. And that's what you did, Jado. And I'm not saying Roger can't speak on this. Roger, I'm not saying you can't speak on this kind of subject because you don't have children biologically. I'm not saying that at all, because you don't have to smoke crack to know that it's bad, but my deal is, when you're in it, you have a different perspective. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm just what I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna push back on that, because I get where you're coming from, because a lot of people do see things different if they're quote unquote in the situation. My thing is, I have a goal. What is my goal for children? My goal is for them to know everything they need to know before I die. My goal is not to be their friend. I care not to be my children's friend. I don't ever want to be my child's friend. I'm not my dad's friend. I'm not my mom's friend. So friendship is out the window for me, period. Okay? Do I want my children to have a beautiful life experience? If it happened, it happened. Don't really care. That's real talk, y'all. I'm going to do the best I can for my kids, and the experience they have will be the experience it is. My childhood was not the best experience. There's people who enjoyed some things that I never got to enjoy. There's some things that I did that other people didn't get to enjoy. So I'm not worried about it from a comparison standpoint. My goal is to make sure when I die that they can make it in the world. Whatever relationship we got to have, so when I die, they can make it in the world. That's the relationship I want. Just is what it is on that note. Because I care about my kids being able to advance more than anything else. Now, if they're going to respect me before everything that I did, I believe they will. Because the older you get, the more you understand about life, the more you can figure out why somebody else made a decision that you didn't necessarily agree with. So I think my kids are going to be fine with me on that note. And if they're not, screw them. I don't even
Well,
want
I never said. Well, I never said that we should be friends with our children. No, I mean,
Well,
not
no,
that you implied that, but
I'm not trying to imply what you were saying. I'm just saying my goal is to make sure they can make it in the world before I die. That is my main goal as a father.
Well, you that is your goal, and you can. I'm saying that we all have goals, or we lay out the plan. My focus in this conversation has been: plans change. You must move accordingly when they do. That's what I'm wanting you to express to Roger. Get out there, because I know your focus is on your goal, but life has a way of changing your way to that goal, or direction to that goal numerous times. That's what I'm wanting you to address as well. That's all.
I'm not easily moved. I'm just gonna say it like that. I'm not easily moved. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Shaka Noodle.
But
He
you
said
can't
that's weird.
personalize it though. You can't.
No,
You got to speak from a general standpoint. You can say what you're not moved. Okay, got it. But if you're talking, but you're in a public forum and you're speaking about men, especially brothers in general. And I'm saying to you, well, we can't, because we listen to women say, well, I'm gonna say this for all black women.
No. I get where you're going, but I don't think men should be easily moved either. I don't think the general man should be easily moved.
Okay, but listen, I agree with you. Stay focused, stay on your course to the best of your ability. But also, if you're faced with some diversity, if you're faced with adjust, stay the course, and move accordingly. I guess we're probably saying the same thing.
Now I'm gonna say shout out to Shaka Noodle. He said that's weird. Me and my pops were good friends. Hey, I'm not saying y'all can't be friends with your pops if that's what you do. What I'm saying is my perspective of friendship. Me and my father will never be friends because my father is just at a level that I'm never going to be. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that I'm never going to do with him. I would do certain things with my friends, but I'm not going to do those things with him. And it's just a respect issue at the end of the day. I would never be confused about being on my father's level. I will never be at his level. He will die.
Hey, Roger, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Okay, because if you went to the club with your father and you two decided to go hit some broads together, would that make y'all friends?
I mean,
I'm just curious.
I mean, that's something friends can do, but I would never do that with my father. It wouldn't come up with my father. Real talk, it just wouldn't come up.
I'm just thinking, like, I mean, hey, that would be probably a different show, but we have to discern what is the friendship between you and your father. What would we? I mean, that would be up to the individual, right?
There's nothing wrong with somebody having a good relationship with their father, but the way I see my father, we will never be friends. It can't happen
because he's your father.
Exactly. I put him in such a level. I put him in a place where my friends can't even reach.
Yeah. I get that.
But so I guess my thing is, like, what would be the purpose of telling your child that, hey, I pay your mother this amount of money to support you, to take care of you? What's the purpose of that?
Now, the purpose in that is because women give a lot of false narratives to even children.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm going to disrupt her being able to justify a lot of nonsense to children. Because once you start telling children what's actually going on, mama can't justify the nonsense no more. She can say anything she wants as long as the kids don't know anything, which black women have done. So my thing is, I'm going to create a disruptor in that situation.
Right.
The reason you can't have it is because your mama making the decisions your mama want to make because the money there. So that's the one thing we not going. We not gonna act like the money ain't there, and we definitely not gonna act like it ain't there because daddy ain't give it to it. So that's why my child will see what's actually going on. And like I said, if I have if I was paying some child support and it wasn't going through the court system, it would be in a whole different banking account. And I would give my children access to the information at bank account. They would know how to go online, look it up, and see what's going on. They will see when daddy dropped the money in there. They'll see when it was either taken out by the ATM or what it was spent on. I don't care that my children see what happened to their child support. I'm not looking to protect a mother when it comes to child support. That is not my job. My job is to protect my children. She's not with me, so she's not my concern.
To me, here's my
I'm sorry, Champ. Let me get real quick and let me finish. I asked that question for. I mean, the main reason is because we want to protect our. I'm not trying to be friend. I didn't say that stuff. I said to be like I want to be best friends with my children or children. I don't get into all that stuff. I'm just saying, like, I think you should tell them because it's the truth and it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, when we say that, if we're doing it, we're trying to protect our own image for that we have from our children. We want to protect that image.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, if I do the right thing, I don't give a damn. Like, I'm just saying, if I'm doing the right thing, I'm telling the truth, whatever, so be it. If my child is like, you know what, Dad, you ain't do, it's all your fault. Then I don't give a damn, man. That's all I'm just saying. Like, I'm not trying to be best friends or whatever. Some of these kids are going to go wayward, man, especially if they're being raised by a single mother. The mother.
Right.
They're going to go wayward, man. Some of them. I don't know what percentage. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying. I don't care. Wait, my image, whatever. If my daughters hate me, so be it, man. I put the truth out there.
Man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you
I
on that,
understand that, but you want to try. You at least want to be a father of those children and everything else, and protect them and everything else. That should be that should be the priority and everything else. Don't worry about what the woman, what your wife is doing and everything else. What I really resent is women, is mothers doing that to their children, putting your children against the father like that. It's, and creating this narrative that your father is a bad father and everything else, blah, 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 and everything else. And then, if you're like a celebrity or something, that the children are going to go on in public and say that some of the worst things, on air and just destroy your image and everything else. So if I was in your shoes, I would do whatever I can to be the best father I can be and everything else, so I can protect my image, tell them what I'm trying to do and everything else, provide for their children and everything else instead of the mother.
Well, my thing is this: if you put your best foot forward, there wasn't nothing else you could do anyway. So you don't have to concern yourself with results.
That's my point. That was my whole point.
And I totally get that. And I think that's a good way to look at it. And then also, when it comes down to it, you want to prepare your children to operate well in life. If my children can operate well in life, and let's say for some reason they do grow up and they hate me, I taught my children how to make it in the world. Do I really care that they hate me? Think about that, y'all. I taught my children how to make it in the world. They all became successful people. They got into good relationships. They got good jobs or created a business for themselves. Their situation is hunky-dory. Am I really that bothered that my kids done made it because of the stuff I gave my kids? I gave my children the tools. My concern is something happened to my kids with them not having the tools versus what they decide to do with the tools. As long as they got the tools, I know I did my part. I can't control how you use the tools. I can give you a hammer to build a house. I can give you a hammer. You can go bust somebody upside the head with it and rob them. I just want you to have a hammer. That's my part. You know, I'm going to convince you to do the right thing with the hammer as best I can. But you your own person once you're 18 anyway. And you out on your own.
Well, I think for the most part, all of us up here have expressed different views as far as what we perceive support to be, whether it's through the courts, whether it's not through the courts. The main line in our conversation is that we are going to stand on business. We're going to address whatever directions come up to where we have to address why it's taking us in that direction and adjust and move forward. But I think for the most part, when we deal with these situations, we express to not only each other, but to people in this public forum, because Roger Report is the greatest show on earth.
I mean, that's real talk.
We got to work to be right and exact to the best of our ability. That's it.
And like I said, and everybody's making great points, man. I'm just throwing my little 2 cents in, like I usually say. Hey, man, I said this on your previous channels, Roger. Like, brother, I don't know how many years, bro. And somebody might look at me. I'm sure that somebody probably say, Jado, you something wrong with you, bro. I haven't got my children Christmas gifts in many years, bro.
Yeah.
And that's emotional. Hey, bro, that's a big emotional thing for people, bro.
Right.
I pay too much. Bro. I'm saying I'm boots on the ground, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm speaking like this. That's why I'm boots on the ground.
I'm with you, Jado, man. Hey, look, that's why when you opened up, you said, "Hey, I can understand Gold P been through it, man."
I can hear the difference, man, and I respect both sides, man. Like I said, I respect both sides. And again, I agree with telling your kids what's going on, telling them the truth, man. But brother, every time Christmas time come around, man, I still get a little twist in my stomach, bro. Like, oh man, I ain't giving, bro. But I pay a lot of money in child support.
Birthdays come around, or some events, or some you want to be involved in a school stuff, and you be like, okay, my baby's gonna have this, that, and other. Yeah.
If she wants a third party involved, she got to deal with the consequences of having a third party involved.
It's easy to say that, Roger.
I'm just saying, man.
Roger.
I think I'm a strong brother. I may be wrong in that assumption. And I know a lot of brothers ain't got the strength I got, bro. And I ain't trying to. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back.
You had to grow into that. You had to grow into that.
100%.
And I'm saying we all have to grow into that.
100%.
When we get on that page, man.
My point is, I can't see how Jado wrong. And it's not a father's responsibility to get his children Christmas presents. You know, you can get your children, but it's not a fatherly responsibility at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to address a comment because I'm pretty sure how this is going to go. Righteous, I guess, IEE. I don't know if that's supposed to be a Lee or whatever, but righteous or
righteously
Jalisa, whatever it is.
Righteously Jalisa. Righteously Jalisa.
Hey, don't worry about whatever it is. It don't matter at the end of the day. Okay. But the point is, she said, Lord have mercy. Here we go again. We always a topic of discussion. Y'all ain't tired of cursing your community yet. Lady, you probably not my community. First of all, you probably looking at this like white people do because you're a white supremacist 9 times out of 10. I'm not saying that about you personally. I said 9 times out of 10 because I don't know who you are. But you're a random black woman. So therefore, you're probably a white supremacist. Number 2, you're not actually part of our community because I would bet money that you're not married. If you're not married, there's no chance that you're a part of our community because you're an adult. Any adult woman who does not live with her husband is not a part of our community. And I doubt that you are those. And I'm not saying that as an insult because you could be these things. I don't know who you are at the end of the day, but you don't understand what our community actually is. You know, because you look at it from as part of a white person's view. A white person think any black person is part of our community. If you're an insider of the community, you know there's different subsections of black people, and I'm talking about FBAs especially, just to make this point, you know, and to be part of our community, you have to be a man that is respectable, productive, functional, believe in black men's leadership. You have to be one of our children that live in our homes, or you must be one of our wives. And I would bet money, just shooting randomly at a woman, that you ain't none of those things. So you're really not our community. And that's what you need to understand from the beginning. You're not our community. You're an outsider who thinks you belong to us, who don't belong to us. No man claims responsibility for you. And until one does, you're not us. Now, it's fine that you here listen, and maybe you'll actually be good enough to become one of us. But at this point, and I'm just shooting in the dark, I'm pretty sure you're not one of us. You know, and at the end of the day, y'all see, we got to make distinctions and determinations, because people want to belong when stuff is good and convenient, but they don't want to do the work that comes it comes with belonging. There's always work to belong into something. Ain't nothing free.
Hey, look at Roger being politically correct, man. I'm gonna just say the broad got teeth missing.
No,
Yo,
don't do that.
You
No,
always
bro.
being nice, man.
Bro, we not gonna attack random women.
Keep that same energy. Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong when you keep that same energy?
Brother.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna do a platform where we all getting petty and people don't feel welcome.
But you said you petty. You said you petty.
But I said, but the platform can't be petty where we just attack people for showing up. I can't. That's not gonna work. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody's welcome.
I didn't say she wasn't welcome. I just said, hey, tell the broad she got teeth missing. That's what I said.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, Roger. Okay, I'm sorry.
She a guest in my house regardless. Leave her alone. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At the end of the day,
yes,
I can't have it where people just attacking people and all they did was show up. She showed up. She may not mean anything negative, but of course she probably buys into a lot of propaganda that's out here. She probably is a woman herself. 9 times out of 10, that done left some good man.
Roger, we had the conversation. I was listening to the conversation yesterday, and you said if Mike Tyson hits you or takes your hit, and you hit him back, well, you're not responsible for being on the floor, are you? Or are you? You're responsible for being on the floor,
but
right?
yeah, and I also say in that scenario, I ain't got no business swinging in Mike Tyson.
Okay, so she took a swing. She took a swing and got punched back.
She don't know. She knew over here, man.
She do know. No, she do know.
This could be her first time ever seeing this channel, man. This could be her first time.
But she do know, Roger. She do know.
No, it's not whether she knows or not. Because my thing is, if you're 18, I hope
you can't say she don't know.
No, what I'm saying is I cannot allow people to randomly attack somebody for just showing up. That's what I'm saying.
But she didn't. No, she showed up. She could have came to the chat and said, "Hey, Roger," or "Hey, everybody." That's it. But no, she chose violence.
She didn't necessarily choose violence.
She chose violence.
She just made a statement. No. She made a statement that she thought was probably inclusive to her, and I'm just simply giving an understanding that 9 times out of 10
she made a decision.
No, hold on. The point is 9 times out of 10 she's probably not even included. She don't even know she's an outsider. The first thing she got to deal with the fact is if she's an outsider or not. And the only way she's not an outsider, she got to have a husband that we respect. You
don't know she has a husband though, right?
No. That's why I'm saying 9 times out of 10, she's an outsider. And the reason I'm addressing her because she's addressing this as if she's an insider. My thing is to inform her, not to attack her.
Okay.
I'm informing, not attacking.
You may say you informed her, but you, with your politically correct response, you responded in a aggressive manner. Whether you accept it or not, I just went directly. I didn't say you attacked her. I said you addressed her with a political response. That's what I said. And I'm saying I chose violence. I'm saying I chose violence, brother. Okay. And you said, hey, GoP, don't choose violence, brother. Let's keep it MLK instead of Malcolm X. But that's what you said, and I said, okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking that because my thing is when people show up, especially the first time, I just can't have people attacking people for showing up. People don't feel welcome to come learn anything if they feel attacked. And that's something I understand a lot of people don't get. I'm not trying to make people feel attacked. I'm going to tell them the truth, but they don't have to feel attacked for me to tell them the truth. Now,
but you chose the word attack.
No.
Chose the word attack.
Yeah, I do. I understand it because a lot of people take stuff as an attack. I'm not saying she's truly one of us. From a white people's view, she probably is one of us. But from a black person view, there's a very good chance she is not one. I'm not taking that back. It is what it is. The thing is, though, she should feel welcome to come over there to learn how to become one of us, not to be attacked, to be, to feel like she can't come here so she could be one of us one day. We want people to become us at the end of the day. Okay. And shout out to Silverhawk. He said Roger simping hard on these random women. It ain't about simping at the end of the day. You don't even get what simping is. Simping is protecting women from accountability. That's what simping is. You untrained Negroes use simping for just about everything. A man buy his wife some flowers and y'all call it simping. A word has to actually have a meaning if we're going to use the word. Simping is just protecting women from accountability, which I did not do. I just told her there's an in crowd and there's an out crowd. And truth be told, she's probably part of the out crowd because she is a random black woman. And if you bet money to bet that a random black woman is married is stupid because most of them ain't. It's just that simple at the end of the day.
Well, Roger, I'm just saying you applied the word, you implemented the word attack. Now, that's what you perceive. Hold on, Roger. You implemented the word attack.
Didn't you the one who said you chose? You said you choose violence. What are you talking about?
I did choose violence, but I'm saying
so what's the
I
argument?
chose.
What are you arguing about right now?
Listen. I chose violence after Roger explained his point. I chose to use the word violence after he used the word attack. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what your point is, though.
My point is, Roger had his perspective. I said, off top, I said, hey, Roger, you chose the political direction or response to that person. I said, well, just tell the broad she ain't got no teeth, right? And then
why would you say
Roger respond?
Why would you talking yourself out of it? You talking yourself out of your own point.
No, brother.
No. Don't keep going. Just stop.
No, brother.
Don't keep going.
Brother.
Well, I was
it ain't gonna get better, man.
I was trying to get Truth Teller in here, so let's just let Truth Teller have the flow, man. Let's just let Truth Teller have the flow.
Go ahead, Truth Teller, man. Go ahead, Truth Teller, man.
I really don't want this place to have a reputation that just because a woman shows up, she's going to be attacked. That is not good for business at the end of the day. If you're trying to make your society better, women thinking they're going to be attacked the moment they show up over here and they say one thing and then they get attacked, they're going to say, well, look what they did to me. That's what's going to happen.
But you're not responsible for that. Look, if you come, once again, if you hit Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson hit you back, whose fault is that?
Go P. You on the show. At the end of the day, everybody going to hold me responsible because it happened on my channel. And that's the reality I have to deal with.
Okay. Point taken.
All right, Truth Teller, go on, do your thing.
Outside, so the wind blowing, but just put it. Listen, man. If they choose Uncle Sam to support them and to support and use Uncle Sam as a strong arm to make you financially support the kids, your job is done. They've already expressed to you what exactly they want out of you. Now, I know some of us, we still emotionally connected, and we go above and beyond. Just so y'all realize, 9 times out of 10, that above and beyond is never appreciated by her or the kid. Now, I do agree you should tell them the truth. You should tell the kids the truth from young. I agree with your point, Roger. If your mama was married, you wouldn't have to worry about this. You should tell them from 2 and 3 years old. They're not going to understand what that means, but you, as a father, you're going to have to tell them that a few more times as they get older. And once they get old enough, they're going to start to understand what that means. Well, goddamn, why mama wasn't married? Oh, I see why. And when he gets old enough, mature enough, he's going to realize why mama didn't get married. And hopefully it'll help him make a better choice when he's older. Hopefully. right? I don't think we should hide the truth about our relationship with our mothers. They don't hide the truth about the relationship with their fathers. Actually, they make up stuff and slander us. I do not suggest we do that, but we should tell the truth. If their mama ain't S word, hey, listen, your mama did this. This is why I'm doing this. You don't have to call her names. You don't have to make it derogatory. You just state the facts and keep it moving. Eventually, it'll settle in. You may not have a good relationship with them as teenagers, but as adults, you might be able to have that relationship. I think we should move like that, and we'd be better. We'd be better off. Community would be better off. So there it is.
And I'm gonna say real talk. My daughter should know exactly why men have problem with women, so they can avoid doing those things. You know, so if I don't make that an issue, my daughter just gonna do what her mama did. Now y'all can say what y'all want to say, but that's how a lot of it goes at the end of the day. A lot of kids just copy their parents. And they don't think about the stuff, because to them, anything you introduce to a child is normal. You could actually, if you had a baby that was born, you know, and you put them in a certain facility and you act like aliens are real, and you got humans dressing up in alien costumes and things like that, and they're raised as if aliens are real. Aliens are normal to that kid. Point blank, period. The thing is, what do you want to be normal to your child? A lot of parents don't think about it from that perspective, but I do. I know what my child, what I want my child to see is normal versus abnormal. So when stuff happens and things are getting in the way, I'm just going to tell my kids the truth about the situation. You know, if they have a problem with something, yeah, well, you know, if it actually is related to the fact that they mama not married, then that's what I'm going to say. Well, how come you don't live over here with us, Daddy? Because your mama rather be in the streets. You'll figure out what that means later. I didn't have no issue with it. Your mama don't want to listen to me as a man. That's her issue. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not gonna have no problem saying anything that could damage the relationship a child has with their mother. I think what the problem is, a lot of men, especially amongst black men, we have an issue with making the woman look bad in front of the kids. That's our main issue, because we always been taught not to do so. And even though we're grown men and we need to be worried about what's going on with us more than her, she don't belong to you no more. Yeah, I've said plenty of times, as a man, you're supposed to be a leader, protector, and provider. You protect and provide for those you lead. If I'm in a situation where I'm paying child support, I ain't protecting her. We want to protect them. I'm not protecting her. Obviously, that's not my wife anymore. If we was married, that's not my wife. If it's a baby mama situation, that ain't your woman if you paying child support. How is that your woman and you paying child support at the same time? That's asinine. And I know of somebody who did it, and I still think it's asinine. It's not my job to protect her anymore. My job is, I still got to lead my children, and I still got to protect my children. So they're the only people I'm concerned with at that house. Now, what they mama got to deal with because the children found out the truth, that's their business at the end of the day. It is not my job to protect her. And all she going to do is come to me and say, well, why did you say that to him? Why did you say that? Why did you tell him this? Why did you tell him that? I'm going to say, because it's the truth, and that's it. Now, and what's that doing? That's putting her on notice that my children are liable to learn about anything that is the truth. What she does with that information is, I don't even care. I just don't care, because I'm not protecting her. She ain't my responsibility no more. If I'm paying child support, she's clearly not my responsibility.
But Roger, let me ask you, do you think when they ask for alimony, that they, in their mind, that you are still responsible for them versus the child?
Women think random men are responsible for them. So let's be realistic about that. If they think random men are responsible for their welfare and their protection, do you think that if you ever touch them at all, do they think that you still responsible? Of course. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean? That's not how things go. Men dictate what's going on, not women. You protect and provide for those you lead. Anything beyond that is charity.
So indirectly, they decided to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go through the courts to make the courts responsible, make you responsible for her through the courts
If you
when they
go through,
ask for alimony."
well, my thing is I can't control nothing about that. But if you go through the court, you only get what the court gets, and that's where it stopped. That's a decision you made because you chose to go in that direction. I can't work with nobody who bringing in third parties to get on me. That's like saying I'm gonna work with a person who got me jumped. That don't even make sense. You can't beat me on your
That is
own.
so true.
So you
That is
call
so
somebody
true.
to jump me, and I'm supposed to be cool with you?
Yeah, I'm still supposed to
Nah,
be
that's
buddy
a
buddy
good
with
one,
you
Roger.
afterwards. Yeah, that's so
That's
true.
a good one, Roger. Need
And
I to
but
help
we
you?
but we have a but us specifically as black men, we have a very serious issue about holding that line, right? Because then we start to associate that charity stuff with our own manhood. And you'll hear niggas say it. You know, you ain't a real man if you don't do this. You ain't a real man if you don't do that. You hear men say it. Let's not even talk about the women saying it, because you know they don't even know what that means. They just gonna say it because they believe it's gonna make you embarrassed. But we have men actually say it. Usually men that was raised, you know, with a certain tinge in their life, but they'll say it. And then when you ask him what is manhood, it's all the same standard stuff that a husband is supposed to do for a wife. I repeat, a husband is supposed to do for a wife. You got niggas out here that believe boyfriends are supposed to provide wifely benefits to hoes they don't even think good enough to marry. It's just crazy.
Hey, that's why I brought up the Christmas present thing with my children, whatever. I said this to other black men in general, and I can look in their eye and see they disapprove of what I'm saying. Almost maybe, probably about 90%, 80 to 90%. I can see by even if they don't respond to me verbally, I can see they're like, "Oh, you ain't anything. you're
Right.
not you're not anything. You're not crap." Let me say that or
Yeah.
whatever.
You're not
I
ish.
can
You're
see
not
that, man.
ish.
They
Yeah,
face tell on them. You know, even if they
Yeah,
trying to agree with you, they face tell on them. Because
that's
y'all,
right.
there's serious things that you got to consider that, and I'm saying serious because people look at them as serious. They're not serious to me. You know, we've said this example before. What if you got 3 kids by a woman? She call you and say, "Yeah, we over here at the apartment in the or I'm over here at the house and the heating ain't working. Okay, the heating system not working." Now, me, if I'm the father, I'm gonna say, well, send the kids over to me until you get that fixed. Now she may say, "I don't have no money to get it fixed. Can you give me some to get it fixed?" Sure, that don't fix your house. I ain't got nothing to do with your house. No, I can't give you no money to get your heating fixed. I don't live there. That's gonna be my response. I don't live there, so therefore I'm not fixing it. It just is what it is. And she gonna hit me with what your kids are here. I'm gonna say, well, send the kids over here until you get that thing fixed. And the problem is
Roger, would you
solved.
go pick them up?
Yeah, they my kids. I don't mind picking them up because I don't want them
Okay.
to be
Okay.
somewhere where they're cold. Now, what if
I, I,
now the thing is when she say,
right.
well, go ahead, Jado.
No, Roger, I agree with where you're going with this, but she's still getting over, regardless. If you pick up the kids, let's say they stay there for, I don't know, a month until she got the heat fixed, she's still gotten over. I just want to,
No.
you
I,
know,
I I I understand that, but my thing is, I'm not gonna make my children suffer unnecessarily because she's bad at math. Because that's just how I look. You know what I'm saying? She still has to be a mother and get that situation straight. And yes, she is getting a break because you're taking care of the kid. You're taking that off her plate at the end of the day. My thing is,
100%.
I gotta be concerned with the kids actually physically getting sick or something like that at that point. So yes, I will go get them because I don't want the kids to get sick. Now, if she say I can't come get the kids, okay, that's fine. But they over there cold, then when they get sick, that's on them at the end of the day. Ain't no Roger worried about it. Roger chilling. Roger heat work. So Roger fine. You see what I'm saying?
So, so what if she just want to break from the kids? I'm just saying she's still getting over. That's all I'm saying. Like, I know, we're trying to take a stance and say, you know what? Hey, I'm not paying, or I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to pay to get it fixed. I'm going to get the kids instead. Good. I understand. Any man, any father would do that. And I'm saying she's still getting over. What if she might be just lying and just say, hey, I want to go, slang some pee around town for a month. And I'll just say, hey, ain't no heat over here. I know he
She
gonna
going
pick
to
up the
Jamaica.
kids.
She going to
Yeah,
Jamaica.
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
I get what y'all saying, but that's gonna be all dealing with what the kids gonna tell me, because the kids gonna report anyway. You see what I'm saying? Now the thing is, if my children are in actual jeopardy because I'm a father, I will remove my children from jeopardy, especially young kids. Young kids can't be in the cold too long. Now, if an issue comes up where she say, well, no, you can't have it, the kids can't come over there, whatever like that, they just cold now. Now, my thing is, why the kids cold? Because mama wants you in a cold situation. If my kids
So
may
would you
say
take
something to
them some
me,
blankets? Would you
no, I
take
ain't
them
taking
some
them
blankets?
squat. I'm not taking them squat. That's her household, bro. I'm not gonna have any grand impact on her household. She got child support. She gonna have to make it off that. So if she don't pay the heating bill or whatever the case is, or something broke and it need to be fixed, ain't none of that my responsibility, because my child are in immediate threat of catching a cold, pneumonia, whatever the case is. I will get them because there's an immediate threat. But anything beyond the immediate threat, I ain't got nothing to do with what's going on over there. I don't care about their life situation.
But she didn't. But she didn't tell you. She didn't tell you what the immediate threat was.
If you say there's no heat, then to me the immediate threat, especially in the Chicago winter, the immediate threat is them going through the winter without heat. But again, if she won't turn the kids over to me, then they can deal with it. They'll be all right. Your mama decided y'all gonna
But
be cold this
then,
winter.
so you don't. So wait a minute, Roger. You're saying you're saying that you didn't perceive it as an immediate threat, but in winter Chicago, it is an immediate threat if you don't have heat.
No,
And I asked you, hold on, I asked you if you would take them blankets over there, because
I'm not taking
if
them
the
blankets,
winter
bro.
is, so you're gonna leave them in the immediate threat,
bro. If I give you a solution to the problem and you don't want the solution, I don't care about your problem.
But those are your kids, man.
They mama made a decision. It's over with for me.
Okay,
They still
but
can come.
Roger,
When they mama changed their mind, they still can come over.
okay, Roger. Okay. Hey, Roger, if you say that in the winter in Chicago, especially, is an immediate threat, and you won't take, and the mother then called you and said, hey, the heat is off, and you said, well, I can't do nothing about that, baby. You responsible for that. You can give me the kids. And she says no. And I'm asking you, would you take some blankets over there?
No, bro, I ain't taking them a can of soup. It's over with for me.
You said no. You wouldn't even take them a can of soup.
I'm not taking them anything. If the heat not on and you need to get it on, I will suggest you drop the kids off over here until you get your heat situation fixed. Because I'm not going to even investigate what your heat situation is. That may be you pay somebody, it's fixed in 2-3 days when they can make the appointment. It may be.
But Roger, do you remember that situation when that broad went into the casino and left their kids in the car? The kids ended up with their life gone. She had the opportunity to, maybe she didn't want to acknowledge that it was immediate threat or immediate happening or danger, whatever have you. But she went into the casino, and next thing you know, the kids are gone.
I understand that, bro. And guess what? You know what I have a true understanding of? In life, I don't control everything. I don't control everything in life. I'm only
Roger,
responsible for what I control.
I'm just doing this for entertainment purposes. What if one of your kids calls you, man? Daddy, I'm cold. I'm so cold.
Yeah,
but I want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave my mama though. I want to stay with mama. But I'm so cold, Daddy.
Hey, I'm proud of you for trying to comfort your mother. while y'all in that cold, because it's warm over here.
Roger,
If you want to come get some
Roger is on his way. Roger is on his way.
Yes, sir.
Roger is on his way, man.
Yes, sir.
Son, I got
Yes,
this blanket for you, son. I got this blanket for you, son.
Hold on, no. I'm gonna tell my children it's warm over here.
Roger is on his way. Catch your tickets. I got this blanket for you, son. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm not doing that. The only thing I'm gonna do is tell my child that it's warm over here. When you ready, come get some. Over here,
Yeah, okay.
We at 75 over here. You know how much is over there? It's 38. Oh, that's kind of rough. That's near freezing. You know,
yeah, I think Roger is hinted on that he wouldn't go because he's on the phone with his child, right? So he's going to remove himself from any thought of immediate danger, right? Because he's on the phone, right?
I'm gonna make my child
make this right.
I'm gonna make my child understand who's doing what to them. Over here, son, is warm. If you want to come over here, it's 75. That's what we got the thermostat at. It's 75 over here, so you'll be straight. Now, if you want to stay with your mama, I understand.
So you'll go pick him up. You if he say, okay, Dad, you know, I changed my mind. I'm ready to come over. You'll go pick him up.
I go pick him up. He's a kid.
Okay. Okay. I'm okay. All right, Rod.
So my child's gonna have a clear understanding of who's looking out for them and who's not looking out for them, because that's something I want my children to understand about in life. Is the people who look out for you, rather people who just talking about they looking out for you. I want my child to actually know that. So I'm not gonna help his mother. If mama wants some heat in the house, she know what to do to get heat. It ain't no mystery to her. She an adult, right? She know how to get heat in the house. We all, as adults, know how to get heat in the home, don't we? Whatever the process is, whether you own the home yourself, whether you renting, whatever your situation is, you know how to get heat in your home. So she knows how to get heat in the home. So if she don't want to get heat in the home, that's her business at the end of the day. She grown, she not mine. So I have no concern about her decisions.
So she, you, according to you, she know what she's doing.
I don't see how she couldn't know.
Okay. All right.
If a grown woman,
you know why I'm asking. You know why I'm asking that, Roger.
Bro, I'm saying if a grown woman don't want no heat, that is her business at the end of the day.
Roger, you know why I'm asking that. You say she know what she's doing, right?
Of course, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
She know exactly what she's doing. Good, bad, or indifferent. She know exactly what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a new situation or not, she know what she's doing, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm
gonna let that sit with you. I'm gonna let that sit with you, Roger.
Bro, I'm
going back to a recent situation that we had earlier in this conversation.
Okay, I
when
figured
somebody came.
Okay.
Because you lied when you said said no, he's gonna freeze.
No, I mean this is the thing, man. My children,
go ahead.
My children do not have what adults have. Liberty. My child can't just get up and walk out. My child just can't get up and get in the car and drive over. And then, now my kid old enough to do that. That's it is what it is at that point. But if we talk about a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they gotta. Children are subjected to whatever they parents put on them. So my child needs to have an understanding that daddy got heat for you as long as you want the heat, and mama got cold for you as long as you can stand the cold. My children need to know that. They need to have an understanding with that. And now let's just say she say because this is what women do sometimes. They'll be like, well, we ain't got no heat because daddy ain't gonna fix the radiator, or daddy ain't gonna fix the heating unit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The kid's gonna say, well, mama said you ain't gonna do this. Daddy take care of his own home. It's your mama's job to take care of her home. Don't let your mama lie to you. Your mama is responsible for her home. Your daddy is not responsible for your mama's home. Your daddy is responsible for his home. So I'm supposed to make sure you got heat when you're here. Your mama is supposed to make sure you got heat when you're there. See, I'm just gonna throw it on the table. And my thing is, if you keep throwing stuff like that on the table, kids gonna grow up with an understanding of who's supposed to be responsible for what. They're not idiots. We don't need to treat our kids like they're idiots. They gonna get it. You know, now they may not get it at 5, but 11, 12, 13, they gonna start figuring out stuff.
Do women act like kids?
Well, no. The thing is, they don't have a counter narrative.
No. Do women act like kids, Roger?
Oh, that was a question. Yeah, it's sure
Yes,
it's women that act like children, but the issue is this.
And they make childlike decisions too, right?
No, but the point is the children
they make childlike decisions too, right?
Go Pete. The point
Go ahead.
The point is what the children understand. If the children don't have a counter narrative or are not informed or educated in what's going on, why wouldn't they take the mama's side? You see what I'm saying?
So
we worried about them taking the mama's side, but we don't give them nothing. We don't give them another side.
So when the mother is making decisions because they are in the presence of their children or your children, whatever have you, and they're making decisions that are not beneficial to the process or the direction, then you have to come in and make adjustments, right?
No. If that's their household, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care about their household. Do you understand? If my child is not under an immediate threat, I don't care what's going on in their house. And if I try to solve the problem and you say no to the solution I gave you, I ain't worried about it no more. I was nice enough to offer you a solution.
But are those bad decisions putting them in immediate threat? If it's cold outside in Chicago,
as long as they know they mama did that to them, I'm fine with it. That's their relationship with their mother that she gonna have to explain to them. How come every winter when we was cold and daddy always had heat for us when we was over there? How come it was cold over here? They mama got to deal with that. I'm not concerned with it. You see what I'm saying? My thing is, I'm not worried about her place. Her place is her place. It's not my place.
Well, but I'm not saying you're worried about her play. I'm saying we're in the position where we're addressing the kids, right? And you said in the middle of Chicago, in the winter in Chicago, it is immediate danger if you ain't got no heat, right?
I'm saying it's 38 degrees outside.
38 degrees. It's 38 degrees. And I'm saying, right, I'm saying, the heat is off over there. And I'm not saying you got to go over there and fix the heat. I'm not saying, we're talking about if the child called and said, hey, Dad, I am cold in here. Can you help me or something? You bring me some blankets or something. You're saying you won't take them no blankets?
I'm not dealing with anything in a mama's house, man. If that mama wants them to have blankets at her house, she will have blankets at her house. My job is to make sure they got blankets when they at my house.
So you think she gonna take the blanket for herself? Is that what you think?
I have no concern about a blanket at her house because none of her blankets belong to me.
Okay, I got you. Hey, Roger.
Roger. I'm having a little fun with it too, Roger. What if your child say, hey, Daddy, I know you got some good blankets at your house. Can you bring them over here? And then we'll bring them back over there when we're done with them.
And I'm gonna tell my child the stuff that's at my house belongs to this house.
Okay, right.
And that house belongs to
Roger
that
running game, man. Roger running game.
Hey, keep in mind, you literally just talked to the guy who said if she dropped the kids off bummy, I'm gonna tell him take those clothes off and put them away because you're gonna put those back on when you go home. You're gonna immediately take those clothes off and put on some clothes that's over here because you know what I'm saying. I don't want you messing those clothes up. I understand they bummy, but that's a representation of your mother and your lifestyle you live with your mother, and that's fine if that's the way she want to live. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Roger.
Hey, but yeah, Roger.
Mr. Shug said, just put some extra layers of clothes on.
That's how we did it.
That's how we do
Hey,
I mean, my thing is, y'all, I told y'all before, I don't come from no totally bankroll people like that. Like my daddy worked, man. You know what I'm saying? My daddy had kids.
right.
We didn't have everything at the end of the day. So I don't even see what the problem is. And that's real talk. I don't see what the problem is. You was with a man who tried to provide you a better lifestyle than you're gonna be able to do on your own. You left that man, and now you want me to be concerned with what's going on with the kids when we knew this was gonna happen when you left? Like this come with the territory.
hey,
Yeah,
Raj,
yeah. The
I
consequences
respect,
of your decision.
Raj, I respect, man. You push a hard line, brother. You know, when we couldn't bring it up to hypotheticals. I'm just saying, but yeah, this stuff like this comes up a lot, man, and a lot of
Yes,
brothers are
sir.
going to
It
be
does.
vulnerable, man.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes,
A lot
sir.
of brothers are going to
You
be
have to
vulnerable,
grow.
but
You have to grow into making these kinds of decisions, man. I
yeah.
mean, that's just what it is, man.
Now I'm gonna say shout out to Landon. Landon just came through with the cash app for $3. He says normalized. Okay. Now I'm gonna say, yeah, it should be normal that kids understand what they mamas do and kids understand what they daddies do. If they together, it's a better understanding. If they separate, they need to have an understanding about what's going on in those two places. But at the end of the day, man, I don't live in this world where kids had it fine all the time. You know what I'm saying? I remember having to share stuff because we didn't have money to get everybody their own. Okay. I don't think there's an issue with that. Okay. If mama ain't got no heat, I think kids need to go without heat. I know people who've lived with their mamas and mamas didn't have no heat. They was all right. They didn't die. They still grew up. They adults now. I went to their
Hey,
house because they was my friends and found out they ain't had no heat over there. They did not die. It's gonna be all right.
Roger. Serious Raw said Roger is going to use petty politics with his ex.
No,
And which I've been saying Roger's petty. Roger, go
I
ahead.
don't see it as being petty, y'all. I have an understanding that I'm a leader, protector, and
Yeah.
provider for mine. Once you're not mine, any leadership, protection, or provision I give you becomes charity. I'm not against charity, but I ain't giving charity to anybody just cause. I give
Yeah.
charity wherever I see fit.
Yeah, Roger, but you ain't taking that nice, comfy, brand new blanket over there to their house.
What if I never get the blanket back, man? Stuff get lost.
Oh, snap. Now what if you don't get the blanket back? Man, Roger, you something else.
No, I'm saying,
Brother.
have y'all ever had something and you took it to somebody's house and then you lost it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Well, the
yeah.
household it came from never got it
No,
back. It got lost.
Roger. They punked you out of that. You didn't lose it. They punked you out of it, man.
Okay, let's go with that. What if my kids take it over there and they got punked out of something? It never makes it back to my house.
No, you got punked out of it. No, you got punked out of it because they kept your blanket. It was your favorite blanket.
Bro, my family a little too big to be punking us. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. It's a huge price to pay to try to punk one of us. Right? You know what I'm saying? so that didn't really go down like that. I hear you. You gonna have too many people to explain yourself to trying to punk somebody in my family. So it is what it is. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Good luck.
Good luck with that, Roger.
But when it comes down to it, though, I mean, realistically, I don't have control once it gets to her house. We see all the different issues we have with people right now. If I allow something to go to her place, how much control do I really have? Because in order to go get that thing back, now I have to go over there to her place where she has leverage and far more control than I do. So my decision making is never let it be there in the first place. So even though my child may be cold and may say, "Daddy, can I come get my favorite blanket?" I'm like, "Son, you're gonna have to use that over here," or "Daughter, you're gonna have to use that when you over here." You know what I'm saying? Your parents got separate households for a reason. Now I don't know why your mama ain't hooking y'all up over there, because your mama could go get you the same thing I got that's over here. She can get you your own and have that one over there.
So
see what I'm
Roger,
saying?
you're saying if the mother is not with you and she's in a situation over there, she's a failure. Is that
No,
ultimately what
no,
you're saying?
I'm not even necessarily saying that. What I'm saying is my leadership, my protection, my provision ain't got nothing to do with her anymore. So her
Okay,
situation
so
don't matter to me.
she's if she's in a situation where she's struggling something terrible, and when she was with you, she was doing great. Now that she's in that situation, she's a failure.
I don't care about a random
I'm not
struggling
asking
woman.
you if you care. I'm
No,
not
no,
asking
hold
you.
on,
I'm asking
hold
you,
on.
is she
No,
a failure?
hold on. This is what I'm saying, bro. I don't care about any random struggling woman for real. Let's
Okay.
get that clear. If she's
Okay.
not my woman, she's just a random.
Uh-huh.
I care nothing about her situation.
Okay. I got you on that, but I'm asking you, is she a failure?
I mean, that's up to people's perspective. I personally don't even think about her enough to determine whether she's a failure or
Then
not.
why would you refer to a woman's in her position if she's made some ill decisions and she's living in that as a loser?
No, a loser is the woman who ain't got married, who made it to 30 years old. I don't know what age we talking about right now. That ain't clear. Now, if she 30 and they haven't been married, she's a loser, period. That ain't finna change because I was with her or wasn't with her. That's just is what it is.
So she's a failure.
If she became a loser, she definitely, so she a certified, a loser is a failure.
Why?
She's certified at that
Okay.
point.
So why you won't say a failure? Why you won't say failure?
No, I'm saying I don't care whether she
No,
seems like
no.
a failure or not. It's not it's something that men shouldn't even think about. She not with me, so therefore she doesn't count. That's what I want
Okay.
men to get.
But
She
you're
not with
but
me, so she don't count.
she's not with you. She's down bad, right? And if she would make better decisions, even if she listened to you, okay, yeah, relationships fall apart, but you guys have a good uh, uh, communication with each other, and you say
Man,
this, that, and other, and she goes against that. Is she a failure?
if she's not with me, we really not gonna talk. I don't care about her no more.
But
She's
she
not
has your
with me.
children. She has your children though, so you have to talk.
I'm on. Not really. Not really. What time? You can text me when you're gonna drop them off. I can text you when I'm gonna
That's
drop them off.
talking. That's
You
talking,
know what I'm
brother.
saying?
That's
It
talking.
don't really got.
That's
And
talking.
truth be told, if we're separated, yeah, we probably gonna do all that through text message because I'm on a record of everything. I don't want to talk to a woman, and we not together. No, I don't want to talk to her like that.
Roger, I appreciate the hard line that you pushing, brother, on a hypothetical thing. But you're going to talk to that woman.
You going to
You're going to
talk,
talk to
man?
that woman.
We can talk. We
You're
can
going to
talk
talk.
at
But I
court.
respect the point that you're pushing, brother. I
We
respect
can
it, bro.
talk at court. We can talk at court.
No, no, Roger. No, Roger. You're not going to be in court 24/7, brother.
Exactly. We don't need to talk 24/7.
Courts are open from 9 to 5, brother.
And whatever you need to tell me, if it was that serious, you could text it.
Okay, you still, Roger. I get what you're saying, Roger. I get what you're saying.
I respect his point.
I'm
I
saying,
respect his point.
I'm saying,
It don't necessarily work like that, but I respect your
Yeah,
point,
I'm
though,
but
Roger.
saying,
yeah, we
real
respect it.
talk.
Yeah, we
In
respect
today's world, even if men and women got children together, once they separate from each other, why do we need to talk to each other if it's not through a text message? What is really going on in today's world that we actually got to get on the phone and have a conversation with each other?
Roger, because text
Because sometimes it's more
messaging can
efficient.
be misconstrued, man.
Yes,
Text
sir. The context is
that can
lost
be,
sometimes. Yeah, it's just gonna
yeah.
happen. But Roger, you know that, Rod. I know you pushing the point though. I
Yeah,
get it, brother.
I
I get it.
would ignore
Yeah.
probably
No, you
90%
wouldn't,
of
Roger.
what she's
Stop
saying
it.
anyway.
You're gonna
Stop it,
have to talk to
man.
that
Roger,
woman, man.
Roger,
Bro,
man.
bro,
At some
All right.
point, you're
we
gonna
done
have
been
to
to
have
court.
Come
a
on,
talk with
man.
that
Come on,
woman, man.
Roger.
We done
Come
been to
on,
court.
Roger.
We done been to
No.
court. The child support is already settled. I already know what I'm supposed to give. I ain't got nothing extra for you. I don't want to do you no favors. Why she want to talk to me?
I
Hey,
don't want to do
Roger.
nothing
Okay,
for her.
look, Roger. If she, look, if kids have something coming up, and she call you, say, hey, Johnny has a great event coming up. He would like to see you there, and blah blah blah.
Text that to me. Johnny got a recital at 3:00 on July 31st. Johnny got a
She don't
recital at
have
3:00.
text messaging, Roger. She only has call the call program. She don't have the text messaging program. She has call program. That's all she got. She got a landline.
Shout out to
You saying you
Afro
ain't gonna
Mercy.
talk good?
Afro Mercy just
Hey, Roger saying I'm about to pivot off of this real quick.
Nah,
all right.
I'm about to Euro step past this real quick.
Yeah. I know, right?
no, I'm saying he said communication through email only. Sounds like a joke, but that's what some brothers
Hey,
do, and it's smart.
hey,
So guess what? If
hey,
she ain't got text, man, she gonna have to get an email.
hey. I
Okay.
hardly verbally communicate with my ex-wife. Hardly. But that's just hardly. I still have to communicate. But I get it, though. I get it, bro. I get
Yeah,
it.
we
I
get
get
it,
your point.
Roger. We get it, Roger.
Man, I'm just saying,
It
if we
doesn't
got
work that
kids
way,
together,
unfortunately.
if we got
Right.
kids together,
J-Lo, we know this though. We know this,
Yeah,
J-Lo.
for sure. I respect it. I
look,
respect it.
I'm saying this to y'all. If we got
Go
kids
ahead.
together and we not together, I already see us as enemies anyway. Now that's just a
Now
straight
you
up truth.
enemies, Roger?
Absolutely.
Dang, Roger.
So
Roger.
you done brought a third party in, and now I got to pay X amount of dollars in child support. I don't understand what we need to talk about. If somebody go to the hospital, you can text it. Sean fell down a flight of stairs. He's going to the hospital. Okay. Lisa got hit by a car. You can text all this stuff.
Yeah. You can text it, but once again, interpretation takes on its own life, man.
I don't want to talk to you
But you
about
have
anything
to.
that needs to be interpreted. I don't want to talk to you.
No, Roger. If Johnny is in a serious accident and you can't say all that in the text. You don't have to literally talk to this person. Say, okay, where's Johnny at? So I can go.
Johnny had an accident. He's at such and such hospital. I'm on the way. I don't need no. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I text you when I get there. What room is he in? But I can just
But you
actually
gonna
get
want
to
to
the
know what
hospital and look up the
happened.
name at that point.
No, you gonna want to know what happened. This is your child, but he came out your nuts, man. He came out your dick.
Okay.
You don't want to know what happened to your child, man.
I'm not gonna say that ain't true, but I can go to the hospital and I can ask those questions when I have
But
a device to record her.
You don't have all that information, man. You're gonna have to talk to her because she has made it there and she needs, it's something that's involving both of y'all, man. He came out your dick, man. You gonna have to talk to her, bro.
I can get to the hospital, press record, and record the conversation when I need to find out what happened. I can just go to the hospital. My kid is at the hospital. I'm going anyway. I don't need to technically know what happened while I'm driving there.
So you still gonna have to talk to her then, is what you're saying, right?
You have to talk to her,
I
Roger.
said, you know what? I'm saying in a situation like that, you make a point. So we can have a recorded conversation.
This accept the point, Roger.
We can have a recorded conversation under very extreme scenarios.
No, see that. See, Roger, I accepted your correction. Why you can't accept ours?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying yes. I guess I could have a recorded conversation under extreme protocol.
A recorded conversation. You still not see how you deflected, brother. Yeah, man, didn't we have this conversation about you being alpha man? Didn't we say that?
I don't even buy into that alpha concept. I think that's stupid, so I don't even want to be one.
Yeah. You know why I say that, Roger? We had that conversation, Roger.
Bro.
Roger say you gonna. Hey, Roger, you gonna be like Dave Chappelle's kid. You gonna have a stenographer on your back, huh? You gonna be recording everything.
If it was just that easy, I would. Real time. If it was that easy, I certainly would.
Man.
I mean, my thing is, I don't want to talk to my ex like that. We got kids together, and she not with me. I don't want to talk to her. I'm not gonna think good things about her. I ain't gonna have really good and nice things to say about her. I don't want to. I have no interest in her like that. You know what I'm saying? To really talk to her. I just don't. Man, I don't want to be around her at
But
the end
yeah,
of
but
the day.
sometimes it's just more efficient, and you can get the context behind things
Right,
by having a
right,
conversation. So, like I said,
right,
hey, I agree. Well, I limit my conversations with my ex, man. Like we hardly ever talk, but we still do talk sometimes.
right,
Very
right. And
rarely.
still, at some point, yeah, at some point, if it's once or twice out of the year, I mean, okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
and that's
That's
only
about
for a
yeah.
few minutes. That's only for a
Yeah.
few minutes.
Right.
It
What?
ain't a
What?
full blown out conversation. Hey, what
So
you
how your
wearing,
mama
baby? It ain't
doing?
none of
Yeah, I ain't asking how your
Hey,
mama doing? How you cook?
that.
No, I ain't
Yeah,
tripping on none of
ain't
that.
none of that.
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, my text rate gonna go up if I'm ever in a situation like that. We're gonna be texting a lot. But let me say shout out to Urban Reed. Appreciate you, my brother. Urban Reed comes through with $10 on the Cash App. He says blankets, heat, kids minding their business. Call me. Now why you got to put the Kobe on there?
Yeah, because we know what it is. We know what it is, Roger.
Well, you know what? I do agree that kids got to be warm, and if they're not warm, they should know that that's their mama fault. I don't know why your mama ain't got you a blanket for you to be snuggled up underneath if the house is cold. Because to me, that makes sense. If it's cold, go get in bed. Put the blankets on. Now, if you ain't got no blanket to put on, you need to question your mama why you ain't got a blanket. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is all that is going to breed strife between children and mothers. I understand that. But it ain't my job to protect the woman from it. I will protect my wife from strife with the children, but I'm not protecting an ex from strife with the children. I think that's supposed to happen. I like the fact that my kids are smart enough to ask certain questions that would cause a strife. My ex may have to act right because the kids are on the ball. It's that simple
Hey,
at the end
Roger.
of the day.
Hey, Roger. Black Dale 417 said something interesting. He said he talks to his ex. It's not that serious. Plus, that way she knows that he's not in his feelings about nothing regarding their past. Do you think you'll be in your feelings about your past
Bro,
being that way?
I doubt it. I just don't want to talk to her, man. It's I don't understand why that's an issue. As a man, if I'm not with you, I don't want to talk to you. I didn't say it before, y'all. I don't go through the trouble of making female friends. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
If
I don't know it's about being friends. It's just, I mean, you got kids with her, right?
bro, I want to communicate with her as least as possible. That's it.
Okay, that's understood. That's understood. We can accept that. We can accept that. The point is, you saying you weren't going to talk to her at all.
Well, you know what?
At all.
You made a point. It would take an extreme situation for me to do it. It would take an
Okay.
extreme situation for me. If somebody ain't about the hospital, if it ain't about death or hospitals, I don't see why we should be talking to each other. We're not together
Okay,
anymore.
well,
I
I
don't
ain't
even
mad at
understand
that.
why would we talk to each other. Why do
I
we
ain't mad
need
at
to
that,
talk to
Roger.
each other? If the kids is graduating, I got to tell you the information on it. I tell it to you through a text message. If you got to tell it to me, then you should tell it to me through a text message. We don't need to talk if it's about the
I'm with
kids.
you on that, Roger.
You know?
I don't think we dispute you on that. It's just when you said you're not going to talk to her at all. We had to, address that.
But you know what? But you know what? I've always given room for death or hospitals. Because to
Okay.
me, we live in a world where there are no excuses, but death or hospitals can make something go abnormal. Because that's an abnormal situation to be dealing with somebody's death or dealing with somebody being in the hospital. It's a very abnormal situation.
Hey, Jado, we finally got Roger to acknowledge and accept something, brother.
Yeah, he buzzed a little bit. He backed off just a little bit.
Backed off just a
I
little
think
bit. Hey, a little
just
bit
a
count,
tiny bit.
man.
Well,
A little bit count, brother.
I'm gonna say, yeah, to get us to talk, death or hospitals would need to be included. Other than that, we done said everything we had to say at court.
Hey, all right, good deal. Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think me and Jado are mad at you about that.
Yeah. If we ain't say it at court, it didn't need
We
to
ain't
be
mad.
said.
You know?
Hey, we winning now. We winning now. We winning. Shoot, that go right. But
Now,
hey, look, man, I gotta push out, man. Hey, great conversation as usual. You know,
and
I
what
mean, yeah.
I'm gonna say this though,
Go ahead.
to make sure you hear this good and clear. My main
Here we
talking is gonna be to my children. That's who I'm gonna be talking to. Now they might be having some long drawn out conversations with their mama because of the stuff I'm gonna say to them. But again, y'all, I am not there to protect the mother at that particular point. Okay, I'm not there to protect the mother, so I'm gonna say all that bad stuff, and it's going to the mom. Now, how they deal with their mama. Now I understand the mama might call me on some why you tell the kids this, and like I said, at least the first time I'm gonna say, hey, I told the kids because it was the truth. Because I'm just putting on notice that anything truthful may be said to them. Now, how she feels about that, I care nothing about. It is what it is. We ain't together,
Roger.
we enemies.
Urban said, we grilling you like a backyard barbecue, man.
It's all good. It's all good. But you know what? Since we are 44 minutes or 45 minutes past the 3-hour mark, we can go ahead and bring this to a close. Y'all got y'all grill on. I will admit, in general, I think death or hospitals go into abnormal stuff. So I'll never use those as excuses, but I think those are when things should change because there is an actual death involved or an actual person going to a hospital. Whether you're the person yourself going to the hospital or you're very close to the person going to the hospital, same thing with the death. I think that's when stuff gets abnormal, and to me, that's understandable. But other than that, man, I don't want to talk to that bro. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Period. I don't need to talk to her. We're not together no more. What we got to talk
All right.
about?
We've accepted that, Roger.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, man.
So don't call
you know,
me about your heat being out. Don't call me asking
hey,
me for no
Roger.
money. Don't call me
She
about
getting ready
nothing.
to text you right now. She getting ready to text you right now. The heat off. It's the heat off. And wait a minute, it's summertime. The heat off.
brother, I am not concerned about some random woman getting heat. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. If we not
Roger
together,
gonna pay for
you're
that trip
random.
to Jamaica. You gonna pay for that trip to Jamaica.
If we not together, you're random.
Oh, snap.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Great conversation, man. Hey, I'm going to start out with the closeout, man. Hey, look, great conversation, man. And we're always learning something, especially from Roger, the greatest show on earth, the Roger Report.
Real talk. Any last things you want to say, Kato?
Nah, brothers, tell your children the truth, man. You ain't got to do it out of spite or anything. Just tell them the truth and let the chips fall where they may. And I'll end right there.
And
hey, Roger. Urban said, "Tell her, Roger, this ain't the first time you got jumped."
Hey, that's real talking. Shout out to Apple Merchant. He say, you break up with Roger, you now a random woman. Yeah, because that's what you was before I met you. Yeah, I'm an honest guy, y'all. I've told y'all before, I've only messed with one chick again after messing, because it was my theory that if you mess with a chick a second time, it ain't gonna be no better. I did it with one woman. There's only one woman that I've talked to who since becoming my ex, and I just don't see no reason to do it with nobody else, man. It just ain't worth the time or the trouble or the issue. It's over with for me. So yeah, if we together, we together. But once we break up, man, we done.
We done.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that, Roger.
And straight
I'm
up,
with you on that.
you know, and if I got kids by, I don't plan on letting that situation happen. But if somehow it did happen, man, pray for her.
Text message central, huh?
No,
text message central, huh?
I'm saying pray for her, y'all. Pray for her.
Pray for her, huh?
Yeah, pray.
Hey, yeah, Roger say it ain't gonna get to no text messages.
Yeah. We do know that Roger is quite eloquent in his wording and thought process. If it comes to that.
All I'm saying is it's good to pray for anybody, y'all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, good.
Pray for anybody. But I'm out here, y'all. It's been a great show. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger, I'm right, and I'm out.
All right.